Good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening. I am here, I am here, I am here, I am here. Are you? Yes, good evening. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good evening. It is a very special live sip this evening. It's Monday, November 22nd, 2025, and it's not our usual morning sip. It is an evening sip, a special live. And if you look at the title of our live, our subject is the budget, the 2026 budget that was presented by the Gaston Brown administration of Antigua and Barbuda. So we are here to unpack it. We are here to talk about the dollars and cents. We are here to talk about what we can expect for 2026. And when I say we, I hold an Antigua and Barbuda passport. And the last live that I did, which was on Wednesday, that's the last morning sip that we did, the news broke between Wednesday and Thursday regarding visa restrictions for Antigua and Barbuda passports. Between Wednesday and today, Monday, so much has happened. Like Kamala Harris, Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, she. Mhm. You'll hear my thoughts on that because I've been seeing all the conversations on the social media. Also, this big CARICOM conversation now is a conversation that we need to have, but we don't need to get distracted. The other thing that really stood out to me is that the Prime Minister of Antigua and Barbuda was so big and bold, and he plastered the numbers and the figures when it comes to the amount of money that Trinidad and Tobago made from CARICOM, or their involvement with CARICOM. We're here, Antigua Barbuda. Well, I'm not physically in Antigua Barbuda, as I'm covering the news, as an investigative journalist, as an individual who's been attending the post-cabinet press briefing since 2023 to June 2025. Antiguans and Barbudans are yet to see numbers and paper trails and full understanding of how the finances are being spent, handled, managed in Antigua and Barbuda. So I want us to have this conversation tonight. So welcome, 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 welcome. It's an evening program because I had an earlier appointment today, and I didn't want to have my appointment and then not have our live sip, because our next live sip is going to be on Wednesday, and then we're going to take our break for Christmas, as you can see. In the season with the reindeers and all that good, lovely stuff. So we're in the Christmas season. So let's get the program started. Our guest this evening is the Honorable Sherfield Bowen. He is the Deputy Political Leader of the UPP. Before Sherfield Bowen comes, we're going to play Prime Minister Gaston Brown's wrap-up. We're going to play his response, his explanation. I want to let you know for tonight's discussion, I went to Chat GPT, okay? I went to Chat GPT and I went to Chat GPT 5.2, meaning that I pay my money for my subscription. I'm not using the free version, okay? This conversation is important. We're not talking just about numbers and to hear ourselves throw numbers around and sound all nice and wonderful and dandy and whatever. If Prime Minister Gaston Brown can see the importance of ChatGPT and the validity of it by using it, yeah, to make songs. You know, he's been bussing tunes and bussing tunes and tunes that's now, I guess he's going to put, whether it's on iTunes or wherever, and monetize it. He sees the value. He knows it's good. You can do a good prompt. I didn't do a prompt with ChatGPT. What I did was upload numbers and figures and, things and things like a real investigative journalist, like we went into the thing. Yeah, and we're going to talk about it. Well, let's get started. Good morning. Oh, no. Good evening.
Ever striving, ever seeking, well in love and unity. each endeavoring, all achieving. Heal our land. You've graced us with land, sea, and beauty. Oh, you fed us from our birth by providing for your children. Oh, from generation to generation, we will lift up our prayer for Antigua, for Barbuda. Lord, we pray for Antigua in the name of Jesus. Lord, we pray for our nation. Please heal our land. Please heal our land. You stood beside us in the midnight hour. Your strong arms held us all together. Now we bless you in Jesus' name, and we pray for you in Jesus' name, the name above every other name.
Proverbs chapter 9. Wisdom had builded her house. She had hewn out her 7 pillars. She had killed her beasts, and she had mingled her wine. She had also furnished her table. She had sent forth her maidens. She cried upon the highest places of the city. Whoso is simple, let him turn in hither. As for him that wanted understanding, she said to him, Come, eat of my bread, and drink of the wine which I have mingled. Forsake the foolish, and live and go in the way of understanding. He that reproveth a scorner getteth to himself shame, and he that rebuketh a wicked man getteth himself a blot. Reprove not a scorner, lest he hate thee. Rebuke a wise man, and he will love thee. Give instructions to a wise man, and he will be yet wiser. Teach a just man, and he will increase in learning. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and the knowledge of the holy is understanding. For by me thy days shall be multiplied, and the years of thy life shall be increased. If thou be wise, thou shalt be wise for thyself. But if thou scornest, thou alone shalt bear it. A foolish woman is clamorous, she is simple, and knoweth nothing. For she sitteth at the door of her house, on a seat in the highest places of the city, to call passengers who go right on their ways. Whoso is simple, she says, let him turn in hither. And as for him that wanted understanding, she said to him, Stolen waters are sweet, and bread eaten in secret is pleasant. But he knoweth not that the dead are there, and that all her guests are in the depths of hell.
Heal our land.
Dave A. B. Ray. Dave A. B. Ray. You're not going to distract this program tonight. You're not going to distract me because you've been continuously doing it, continuously on my page, continuously. Dave A. B. Ray. Watch how I'm going to stop this. Because I spoke to you, Dave A. B. Ray, via WhatsApp. Dave A. B. Ray via WhatsApp. I, Lady Nikki Phoenix, continue to show restraint when it comes to you, Dave A. B. Ray. Whether I born in Guyana or whatever, I am not an investigative journalist for the Gaston Brown administration. Gaston Brown is Prime Minister at the moment. Let's say at the moment, my brother. I'm an investigative journalist. Anything I decide to sniff on, I sniff on. Right? Dave A. B. Ray. I have stood and taken the high ground with you. And I'm going to start to read a WhatsApp about you that I warned you, Dave A. B. Ray, about, that someone sent me a couple of weeks ago when you continue with your foolishness on this platform, Dave A. B. Ray. Yeah? And I called you on the phone, spoke for a very long time. I can screenshot that shit too. But you continually, Dave A. B. Ray, to be a pain and a thorn in the side of this platform, this space. And you are a paid prostitute. Dave A. B. Ray. Paid and prostitutionalized, used, abused, wiped out. Dave A. B. Ray. Don't. Watch yourself. WhatsApp message. Should I read it? Dave A. B. Ray. You're going to distract this program or you're going to let Nikki get back on track? Tell me what you want. Type it there and tell me what you want. Challenge me. Dave A. B. Ray. Type it in there now. Tell Nikki what to do. Will you shut your mouth, give comments that is relevant to what we're going to speak about and stop being an ass? Or, Dave A. B. Ray, do I need to go into this WhatsApp first and then proceed? Let me know. Comment. I'm waiting. What's y'all drink for tonight? Somebody tell Dave respond. Because if Dave don't respond, I will respond. And somebody might say to me, Nikki, take the high road. And I might say, no, I want to ride on this freaking reindeer that's on my shirt. Like how Dave A. B. Ray just trying to ride this platform with his foolishness and his foolish rhetoric to bring it down or to give it some kind of watered down, negative, whatever. Boy, respond. Respond, Dave A. B. Ray, or I will respond for you. And I ride this reindeer out. Okay. I haven't been paying attention. I haven't noticed. What haven't I noticed? What have I not noticed? That you're a political prostitute, that you're on every platform, that you paid to spew, that you have no vision, no understanding, that even when you say to me on the WhatsApp, Dave A. B. Ray, should I talk about what we talk about on the WhatsApp with regards to Prime Minister Gaston Brown? And should we talk about with regards to Chet Green? Should we talk about the views and the people in the party? Should we talk about those things, Dave A. B. Ray? Don't take Nikki off course. Don't try it. Don't try it. Because I could read the WhatsApp. That's very, yeah? And then I could maybe like paraphrase our discussion regarding Chet Green and who you really work for and how you get your job and the views and whatever and whatever and whatever. Yeah? Okay. All right. I see that was for D. Adrian. All right. Let's continue. Let me tell everybody something. I spend my time and my energy how I choose to spend my time and my energy. And I choose to spend my time and my energy to build on what I am doing here. And what I am doing here is what is in my heart, what makes me feel purposeful, what I know is good and true and right that I am doing, not causing harm to anybody. I'm not singing, whistling, blowing any flute. You understand? Let us get that understanding. So when I post something, something might not see me post for days, or you might see me post quite a few times. And when I come here to sit and talk on anything, I do my research. I do my work. I don't pull from anybody. I don't follow any instructions from anybody. And I keep repeating this. And for the new year, I, Nikki Phoenix, will continue to do it and do this with even more vigor and vitality. Yeah? Because we need this. What we're about to talk tonight and what I'm going to share, the Prime Minister has a right to come and address every inch bit of it to say whether it is factual or not. And to come and break down the numbers and put it to the public. But I will say, before I bring the Honorable Sherfield Bowen on this platform, he was not lying. He was not spewing shit. No, he was not. He was not trying to fabricate nothing. He was not trying to big up the UPP in any way. He was not trying to do any of that. I've never met the man. I called the man on the phone from listening to the budget 2026 and his presentation and the Prime Minister's response. And we'll get into all of that. Now is not the time for anybody to look at a party. And from since 2014 to 2025, we have listened to Prime Minister Gaston Brown be a boastful, well, he didn't start that way, but he has gotten that way, boastful and braggadocious, and he just says and does whatever he wants, when he wants it, because he's the Prime Minister, as he tagged himself, the world boss. And in all of that, no paper trail. Limited paper trail, no information, limited access to information, nothing with regards to nothing, just like putting up falsehood, like all these little fake seem to be intact policies. And you can't find documents. You can't get numbers. Mankind like me and you, like a people, just hear about billion and million and 1.5 and 60, whatever, and a 19 and whatever. You're just hearing numbers and it sounds big and it sounds good and it sounds nice and fluff and you're excited. Oh, it sounds so good. I see these men like to use examples of relationship. Man, this is not even the direction the program was going. I didn't even ask you what your drink of choice is. What's your drink of choice? I'm having Pepsi. Because I want to get all the gas out my stomach. I didn't even have a sip and I had to deal with Davery. I should take a sip because he might slip up again. And I might sip and bring up some more gas, you know what I mean? And Pepsi always does it best. Let's see. These men like to bring up examples of relationship. When Anthony Smith dug out the UPP and the All Saints people show up Sunday, you know what? I talking to y'all and I don't even think I sent oh, look, my guest is saying that he's getting in trouble getting on. What is this? What is this? Dave, you see? Dave, are you? Are you, Dave? Are you? Are you? But you needed that. 1 second. I'm sending you the link now. My apologies. I'm sending it now. Okay. Oh, no, no, no. I'm going to send you a different link. Not that. Okay, all right. Yes. Let me send the link. But I want to come back to talking about this example that we continuously use with regards to relationship. Like, let me say it quick. When Anthony Smith dug out the UPP, show up Sunday in the UPP, and then show up Monday and sign an agreement. All these different examples were thrown around. You know, like if you're in a bad relationship and if, somebody treating you bad and if you mustn't leave the relationship. We are in a bad relationship right now. We're in a bad state. Financially, the country's in a bad state. The numbers shows that Antigua and Barbuda is in a bad state with regards to numbers. I'm going to give you like basic lines that you need to remember tonight on how the country is being run on your back, on the cost of living, on for you back. Yes? We're going to talk about it. So now, if I'm in a relationship, like they say, we're in a relationship, and you in a relationship with a bluffer, you're in a relationship with a man that tell you that he making millions, but you can't see the millions. Yeah? Always have a business idea, always have some project about to sign, always have one of them, wheeling and dealing and wherever and wherever and wherever and wherever and wherever. But me not see the money. Me not live in the glory. Me not have the soft girl life. Me not drive couple Broncos and wherever we can't see it. Do we still stay in the relationship? Because we've been in a long-term relationship. We've invested a lot in this relationship. And here the big one that everybody like to say, if not he, who? If not him, then who? And that is where the women stay in abusive relationships. That's why the women compromising, because you think to yourself, this is the best man I can get. Maybe I'm not older to have another man. Maybe I have children, I mightn't find somebody else, but you don't know what God have for you on the other side. You don't know once you extend your faith, raise your standard and say enough of the crumbles, enough of the crumbs, enough of the left, and I'm going to trust what's in me. I'm going to trust what I know. And Antigua and Barbuda didn't need to open their eyes. Every single one of them. Dave Ray or A.B. Ray is not credible. Dave has been yapping and talking and yonking and tapping and yapping for position, promotions, awards until he has gotten his ambassadorship. And he's going to yap to keep that. Yeah? I'm not aiming to get anything, knowledge, wisdom, understanding. I want us to share. I want this platform to grow. I want people to come out of the drunken soup. I want everybody to come out of the washing machine experience. And I want us to come out of those 2 and 3 minute clips. And all the bluffing and the bagadoshes and it sounds so good. No. Take out your pen and paper tonight and let's get down to the numbers.
That too will be a very important part and through Democrats. So
this is the one I want to start with.
Speaker, I start by commending my colleagues on this side of the aisle, each of whom would have given a full or comprehensive account of their stewardship. And I'm very pleased with the various presentations in which they would have outlined what they have achieved within their respective ministries and the plans for the 2026 budget period. So again, commendations to each of you. As I make my concluding statement, I will refer to some of the things that were said by various members. I'm quite sure that each member would have said things that were worthy of repeat, but I have to be mindful too that the time is of essence here, and I do not wish to have a very long wrap-up. Unfortunately, I can't say the same thing for the members on the other side. I would say here that they have failed to show the level of maturity, and I was especially disappointed with the member for All Saints East and St. Luke, who continues to promote a lot of ignorance within this honorable House, a lot of noise, and a lot of lies. And I think, Mr. Speaker, that the member for All Saints East and St. Luke, having served in this Parliament now for over 8 years, should have showed some level of maturity, some level of learning, some understanding of the budgetary process, so that he could have spoken with some degree of erudition on the budget. I mean, when you look at the estimates, for example, just to debate the information within the estimates, that alone could take hours. And the member need not to have resorted to the type of vitriolic rhetoric that we heard from him. I'll say here again on my side, Mr. Speaker, our side, I've seen significant growth taking place among the younger members of our administration, or the members of younger members of Parliament. And it is my wish of the leader of this country that we'll see similar growth coming from members on the other side. I would have taken a significant amount of time in this honorable House, and even personally, in personal conversations with the member for All Saints East and St. Luke, to encourage him to develop his capacity and to lift his game. But it seems as though my advice continues to fall on deaf ears. I know the others who would have indicated to him the need for him to build capacity. He himself quoted the late Sir Gerald Watt, who indicated to him that he has the passion. But it's not just about passion. You know, to be a leader, you must have the integrity and the ability to lead. And integrity could be easily destroyed if you practice lies, misinformation, and disinformation. When we come to this honorable House, there has to be some level of decorum. And I understand that the banter is such that sometimes we may say things to each other that may be considered unacceptable. But when you look at the members of the opposition, Mr. Speaker, they consistently provoke the ire of members on this side. It's not that we want to have any form of confrontational or disrespectful engagement with them. But with every budgetary cycle, they spew a lot of ignorance, and they have almost confined their observations, their contributions to criticisms, many of which are unfounded, and we are not beyond criticisms. As far as we're concerned, we certainly, we too can grow and develop and perform better through constructive criticisms. But I would have said to the distinguished member of St. John City South that, unfortunately, the members on the other side, they are showing, I'd say consistently, a spirit of pessimism, and they have really failed to show any form of optimism and even creativity and innovativeness with their budget presentations. I recall when we were in opposition, and certainly the member for St. Mary's North and the member for City South can confirm that many of the ideas that were pursued by the then government, they came from us. We were able to demonstrate in convincing ways that we were ready to govern. And I think that if the members on the other side are serious about governing this country, they have to show more discipline, and they have to be careful that by encouraging this type of destructive politics, politics of noise, politics of lies, misinformation and disinformation, what they're doing is that they are undermining their own integrity. Because the sensible people in this country, and certainly the undecided ones, those in the middle, will not be impressed by the type of obvious lies that they continue to spur or to spew, I should say. So, for example, they brought the vehicular gate fabrication into this Honorable House, trying to impugn the character of the member for Rural East. And it is well known within the society that there is no $15 million loss by the government. There is no $200 million loss by the government. It's all a fabrication. The facts are there was an excess of vehicles that was purchased, about 30 vehicles, and those vehicles were returned to the dealers. Every year we do a set-off of vehicles that we receive against taxes due. So it means, therefore, that when the set-off is done at the end of the year, those 30 vehicles will not be paid for. So in other words, the government would not have lost a cent. We accept responsibility. We accept the fact that there were procedural violations, but not illegality. I want to make the distinction between procedural violations and illegality. And illegality is where you do something that is against the law. There was nothing stopping those individuals from purchasing vehicles. There was nothing stopping them from processing the documentation. What was required, however, for completeness and for control purposes was a cabinet decision. That's what was missing. And that is why we took the moral high ground and decided that, because we would have said so repeatedly to the dealers, that no vehicles should be sold to the government without first getting a cabinet decision. So it's that policy violation that caused us to return those vehicles. So that matter is fully settled. And there's no evidence, direct or indirectly, to confirm that the member for Rural East was involved in the ordering of a single vehicle, within policy or without policy, because she does not sit on the procurement board within the Ministry of Public Works. And there's a reason for that. As the Prime Minister of this country, I am precluded from doing any form of contracting or procurement. And because the member for Rural East is part of my household, she too is precluded. It's a control mechanism that my administration has put in place as part of its governance framework. And for members of the opposition, especially the female members in particular, those who say that they promote women's empowerment, some of them consider themselves feminists, it is unfortunate that they would want to join in that lie and to try and impugn the character of the sole female member of parliament. I think that type of behavior is savageous, it is backward-looking, and you cannot advance a nation with that type of rhetoric. And I believe that there are members on the other side who, with a little more discipline, could grow and develop into good politicians. The member for Rural West, for example. And I'll say that initially when he joined this House, we'd have seen a level of maturity, and whereas I'll accept that he's not at the level of the member for All Saints East and St. Luke, who has shown absolutely no growth in this Honourable House, I would say that I think that he too could do better and could provide better leadership and be a better example for the members on the other side. So, Mr. Speaker, when I look at the conduct of the member for All Saints East and St. Luke, and all of us at some point would have stepped out of line, but there's a consistent behavior that I'm very concerned about insofar as the member for All Saints East and St. Luke is concerned about. And he has to recognize too that he occupies a very senior constitutional position as the leader of the opposition, which means that he'll be held to a higher level of probity. He's also a member of Parliament who would have sworn in this Honourable House, at least on 2 occasions, to uphold the Constitution or the provisions of the Constitution and the laws of this country. It means, therefore, that the member for All Saints East and St. Luke, as a lawbreaker, is inappropriate. Or let me reterm it, that as a lawmaker, he ought not to be a lawbreaker. And when the member could come here and consistently disrespects the Speaker, up to today, the member looked the Speaker in the face and said to him, "Me no afraid you, me no afraid none of you." Oh, that type of behavior is totally inappropriate. And the Speaker, I have to commend you. You have shown a significant amount of restraint, because I remember at one occasion in this Honorable House, while in opposition, I referred to the then member, the Honorable Errol Court. I said, the Honorable Errol Court, member for Rowleys, and the then Speaker said to me, I should not call his name, that I'm limited to responding to him or referring to him by the name of his constituency. Now, I thought that she was wrong, and I repeated it. And for that simple offense, I was asked to leave. Demitted. So, the point I'm making here is that I don't know what is happening here. I don't know if there is an expectation within the opposition for the member of All Saints in St. Luke to be destructive. I don't know if they are trying to suggest that unless he makes a lot of noise at the top of his voice, and whether or not he appears ignorant and he's challenging authority without merit, that if other than that type of ill-advised behavior, that he's not performing, because clearly it's just a ton of noise. And again, I want to remind the member for All Saints in St. Luke that he is a member of Parliament who took an oath to uphold the Constitution and the laws of this country. So here we had a situation which DCA wrote to him, and this had no political intervention on anyone on this side. DCA wrote to the distinguished member for All Saints in St. Luke about a violation in which he cemented a tent in the ground at Morris Bay without permission. They wrote to him and asked him to kindly take it down. They wrote to him over a month ago. They gave him 14 days to take it down, and he refused. But he didn't stop there. He brought the discussion into the Parliament and then dared us as parliamentarians on this side, as members of government. And just paraphrasing, he didn't quite say it in this way, but he basically was saying to us, if I think I am bad, go out there. You can't go to Old Road, and you can't interfere with my tent. I dare you all. Send DCA if you all think you all bad. Send DCA. Send DCA. Now, you can't be wrong and strong, So here's a situation in which a lawmaker has broken the law by erecting something illegally. And I want the people of Antigua and Barbuda to understand that the Physical Planning Act of 2003 is very specific. It was enacted to make provision for the orderly and progressive development of land, to regulate construction of buildings and other related matters. So like tents and so on, anything that ordinarily would be a chattel that would be there temporarily and you go and make it permanent, it is in violation of the law. And that Physical Planning Act of 2003 provides for certain remedies, including demolition. Now, demolition is not nothing new. Demolition is not exclusive to the member for All Saints in St. Luke. There are little ordinary vendors, even homeowners who put on little extensions and so on and have had to demolish the extension. We do so, well, DCA for that matter does so routinely. Now, before the action was actually taken on Wednesday, the member for St. Peter got on to the member for All Saints in St. Luke and begged him, said to him, look, the removal of the tent will take place today. I'm begging you. We're giving you an hour and a half, a couple hours to go and remove your tent. Instead of removing his tent, he went out there like a hooligan, mobilized a number of ignorant constituents, and got them to intimidate APA workers. They tried to intimidate DCA workers as well. But DCA did what they had to do. They took down the tent. And from what I have seen, the tent is still salvageable. But then he went on to make some threats. And I want to address those threats. Again, member for All Saints Eastern St. Luke, I'm addressing your conduct. And to remind you that you are a lawmaker. You are not elected to be a lawbreaker. So, at the top of his voice, nothing can do out here. Nobody can do nothing for Morris Bay. I want to ask the member for All Saints Eastern St. Luke, who willed Morris Bay to you? Who willed Old Road to you? I want to say to you that that type of behavior is inappropriate. You don't have to care, but the people will do something about it. And I want to make an issue here, because you see, this gentleman here is operating at a level of ignorance that is totally unacceptable for parliamentarian. Here's a situation in which I'm reminding the member for Austin East and St. Luke about his obligation as a parliamentarian, having taken an oath in this honorable house, and he's telling me that he doesn't care and I can't do nothing about it. We're going to have to care. One is, yes, it's my mouth, but I stand in truth. But one thing I can say to you, anytime at all you continue to pursue any form of illegal behavior in this country, you will be dealt with. Okay? You're forewarned. I will say here that the burning of APA material for the fiber optics was incited by you, the member for Austin East and St. Luke.
Mr. Speaker, on a point of order. The member is imputing improper motive. And he should take it back, because he has no evidence of it.
Mr. Speaker?
Honorable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, if I'd gone as far as stating that he burnt the material, which in my heart I believe, that would have been inappropriate. I have no evidence to that effect, but I've heard him inciting violence in this country. I heard him for myself. I am not taking it back. Mr. Speaker, I'm sorry, I've been disrespectful to you.
Mr. Speaker, on a point of order. The member is imputing improper motive and he should take it back.
What's the improper motive?
He's suggesting that I burn something at Morris Bay.
No, no, no,
He
no.
said so earlier. And he now
Honorable
come to
member,
this
he
honorable
never
house
said
today.
that. Honorable member, he never said that.
And he also, Mr. Speaker, but I wasn't in here to deal with it. But now I'm up on this point of order. He mentioned the member for City West that I got a letter. I never got any letter from DCA. I want him to show me a copy of the letter that I personally got from DCA.
Mr. Speaker, I'm not in any argument with the member for Austin East and St. Luke. I will challenge those who would have heard him and those in here to go on my Facebook page and you will see a copy of the notice that was sent to the member for Austin East and St. Luke. The fact that the member for Austin East and St. Luke brought up that issue on his own volition meant that he knew. Because nobody here challenged him about it, you know. None of us were here talking about removal of his tent. He brought it up in this honorable house, indicating that he had knowledge of what was happening. So even if, Mr. Speaker, according to him, that he did not receive the letter in his hand, he had knowledge of it. You know, Mr. Speaker, the member for Rural-East, look, ignorance is bliss, obviously. So this hasn't to do with being afraid. You had the opportunity to speak. What happened to being afraid of me? What are you talking about? Mr. Speaker, I want to tell you, right? With that type of behavior, I'm not even sure you will last very long even as leader of the UPP. Because you're embarrassing the institution. You're embarrassing the country as a leader of opposition with that type of behavior. And I would have said to you, within weeks of you becoming a parliamentarian, I invited you to the office of the Prime Minister. I said to you, use the opportunity to learn and develop yourself. I said to you, you will become the leader of the party and leader of opposition, and you can position yourself to become the Prime Minister of this country. I said to you at the time, too, do not allow people like DJs Isaac and Kublai and so on who have nothing to lose, who neither have chick, nor come, to let you get stuck up a gum tree. I said to you, at the time you probably had about 3 children, understand you have 6 now. You have your children to look up to you, to build a legacy. No, I'm just saying here that you have an obligation to be an example to your children and the future generation. That's the point I'm making. That's all. Is that such an offensive point to make? Mr. Speaker, I want to make a point here about the lawlessness that some are trying to encourage in this country. Again, as I said, certainly as members of Parliament, we have all taken an oath of allegiance to uphold the laws and
Yes, my people. That is Prime Minister Gaston Brown of Antigua and Barbuda. Tonight we're talking numbers. The Honorable Sherfield Bowen, who is the Deputy Political Leader of the United Progressive Party, is on the platform. He's locked in, ready for us to have this discussion. I think I can tap myself on my reindeer back that I've never met the deputy political leader of the UPP. I'm not working for the UPP, not a part of the UPP, but I can pick up my phone and I can message someone, ask for his number, and I can call Honorable Sherfield Bowen on the phone and said, "Hi, it's Nikki Phoenix. I'm calling you. I'd like to invite you to an interview on my platform." And then I talk to him, tell him what I want to talk about, and then I say to him, "Have you heard of me? Or no, do you know who I am?" And he says, "Yes, I've heard of you." I'll drop the pen. I was like, I'm just playing, but I did. I'm just saying to myself that I value my work, credibility. I am out there. Yeah, we are out there. This platform, Free Press 268, Lady Nikki Phoenix, this brand, this image, what we do, we are happy to do what we do. We have called the acting commissioner, who's now the commissioner of police. He's promised to speak. He spoke once, never answered again, with many calls, many WhatsApp messages. I've spoken to the lovely, cute Sophie Cutie that tell you all the darlings and the spoke to him on the phone too and never respond, never accepted the invitation. Can't get the man on the phone till now. I have spoken to the Honorable Anthony Smith. Yes, I told you all about that too. Never been able to get the Honorable Anthony Smith to lock in for an interview. But for the past couple of weeks, Anthony Smith just blowing up my WhatsApp. Even this morning, wake up time WhatsApp from last night in Anthony Smith party. Wumi came at Anthony Smith party. But I think Anthony Smith understand what marketing and promotion is, because if you send it to my phone, I have a platform and I'm going to say, "Why you send it to me?" Boom, I just advertised, saying that he had a party. You know what I mean? But I say all that to say that this is an independent investigative space. This is an independent space that we, those who support it, whether you send stars, whether you buy me coffees, whether you share the lives, whether you tag people, whether you give your comments, the engagement here that we've been doing and building for a while, since 2023, it is a brand. We have invested. We have not sold out, not for 30 pence or 300 or 3,000, whether EC, pounds, or US, in any kind of numbers. We're standing strong in this space. So this conversation is not a UPP conversation. We might have the deputy political leader of the UPP joining the conversation. This conversation is an Antigua and Barbuda conversation. And I'd like you to use the engagement as in, sorry, let's engage, if I should say it like that. Use the comment section, ask your questions. I'm going to be going through the questions. If there's anything that I'm missing regarding Honorable Sherfield Bowen, let me know. Put it in the comments. You have my WhatsApp. Let's ensure that we have a very in-depth conversation. Whatever you don't understand, ask a question. Whatever information you might have too, don't think I know everything, or the Honorable Sherfield Bowen know everything. Let this discussion be nice and juicy. Let be like a sponge to squeeze out all that fluff with those numbers. 2.3 billion, 1.4 billion. Man, talk to me to easy dollars and cents. Let's do it that way instead. Good evening, Honorable, and welcome.
Thank you very much. It's a great pleasure to be here with you. We have never met, but I've been listening to your program for some time.
You have?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, wow. Oh, don't say ma'am, make me sound so old. That's like. So I have to say, we're going to get right into it because I played a lot of the Prime Minister's wrap up. I have a couple of areas where the Prime Minister responded to you directly to, but I want to give you an opportunity to reintroduce yourself, especially on this platform since it's the first time. Speak a little bit about yourself, your present role right now, and I know that we're pressed for time because we might have to do a part two on how in depth this needs to be. But I'll give you the opportunity to do your intro and be a part of the discussion.
Well, pleasant good night to one and all. I want to especially take time to recognize the people of St. Philip South. It is for them whom I work, and they are the ones who gave me the opportunity so that I can be here sitting with you today. Um, about me, I'm just a boy from Bethesda. Grew up in the community. Always been a Bethesda boy. Uh, 20 years ago, I went to live in Freetown, which is in the same locale, the same community. And I've always lived either Bethesda or Freetown. I don't want to live anywhere else. I love the people with whom I grew up with, and they have molded me and made me into who I am.
Excellent. You're now the deputy political leader from 2024, I think it is, 2023, 2024, when you had the convention,
Convention. Yes,
the
ma'am.
UP convention. Honorable Sheriff, are you going to say yes, ma'am, all night? That's not going to be nice. I'm not going to enjoy this conversation. You need to, if you say yes, mom, it's like I'm looking
tell,
like,
tell,
some
tell, tell
kind
me
of
what to say.
old beret. Just say yes, Nikki. Or
Yes,
yes,
Nick.
yes,
I
Nikki.
got you.
Yeah, yeah, you know what I mean? Yes, Lady Nikki. That is good. Can I call you Sherfield
Of
or
course you
Mr.
can.
Boran? Sherfield is good.
Sheffield is fine. Sheffield is perfect.
All right. So, as a deputy political leader, I want us to get into it because this discussion regarding the budget is quite serious from the numbers and the presentation that you made in Parliament. It is so serious that the Prime Minister was totally on his back foot. I want to play a little bit of what he said regarding your presentation, and then I want us to jump into some of the numbers. And I want to let the public know that a lot of, like all the documents I have, you sent them to me. The supplementary budget, the overspending, you've taken the time to take pictures and send me stuff, and then I use them, put it into Chat GPT, ask certain questions, and I have to say that I kind of have some of the numbers that you have. But I'd look forward to you guiding us as we go through the evening. But let me play what the Prime Minister had to say regarding your presentation.
Over 10 years, did not file a single one. And who do you think had to remedy that, Mr. Speaker? My administration came here in 2014 and remedied that situation. So you can see our commitment to comply with the requirements of the laws of Antigua and Barbuda. So when the members on the other side come here and try to school us about supplementary appropriations and also add lies to it, we're not impressed. And as I said, especially coming from the member for St. Philip South, who ought to know better. And I'll say here too, in the past, he has been a little measured, but it seems to be a culture within the UPP organization in which when you become a member, when you get elevated, like now he's deputy leader, you have to take on a posture of aggression, one of lies, one of misinformation and disinformation. Otherwise, maybe if they don't behave in that way, they probably don't have a seat at the leadership table. Now, if that is the case, then you have a job on your hands to change the culture within an organization, because that type of behavior is self-destructive. You may think that you're doing yourself justice by coming here with a bag of lies, misinformation, disinformation. Those who follow you ignorantly, they're not looking into the veracity of what you say. They lionize you, they curse for you. But those who know better, they're laughing after you. And you're not getting the type of commitment from them to support you. And you will remain in opposition because your hardcore supporters can't take you to victory. So if you're playing to your hardcore supporters by continuing to peddle ignorance in this honorable house, you do so to your own peril. Now, Mr. Speaker, the member for St. Philip's South, as I said, he spoke about some outdated accounting methodologies and what I consider to be obsolete and inaccurate information. So I don't know if he's been deliberate. In fact, I want to think that he's been deliberate because we come here every year and educate them in the process. So take, for instance, Mr. Speaker, on the issue of debt amortization. Debt amortization is not an expense. The budget deals with recurring revenues and recurring expenses. When you minus the two, with the exception of interest, which is an expense, you get what is called the primary balance. When you deduct the interest, you get what is called the overall balance. How many times are you going to have to come here and tell you that? I'm going to repeat again for the sake of clarity. So when you come next year with that kind of foolishness again, the people can understand that it's not that you don't know, that you've been deliberate. Mr. Speaker, you have recurrent revenue.
Honorable Bowen, you said to him, write it down. Okay.
Yes,
He said he
yes.
needs to respond to you. So he said a couple of things.
Right.
He said that you're coming with outdated accounting, that your numbers are obsolete and
Mhm.
inaccurate.
Right.
He said that he's not sure, you used to be, a bit, a bit better, I guess, a bit calmer, but I guess after getting a promotion, you
Right.
think it's important for you to be, take a posture of aggression, lies, and misinformation.
Hmm.
Um, you care to respond? Because I don't think he had an opportunity to respond after he made those comments.
Right. Now, first of all, let's do this together. Um, the OECS countries, St. Lucia, Antigua and Barbuda, Grenada, St. Kitts Nevis, we have Anguilla, we have Dominica, we have St. Vincent and Montserrat. Now, each of them produce the same statements that we do, and each of them we can pull them up online. The funny thing, Antigua's is not online, but St. Lucia is, and the others are. I ask you to pull them up so we can go through them together.
You did, but I didn't get a chance to. Sorry.
Okay. All right. Well, let me just refer to people. You can pull them up online. Most of them are sometimes on the Central Bank, Eastern Caribbean Central Bank website, or you can go to the individual government's website and find their statements. Now, the Prime Minister says correctly that the projected revenue of a country minus the projected expense gives a balance. But he inaccurately says that the debt payment amortization is deducted. That is not true. And that is not outdated. If you go to the International Monetary Fund, they will tell you that the primary balance is the total revenue minus the total expense, add back the interest. The interest. If you go to the World Bank, they will tell you the same thing. If you go to Central Bank of Barbados, they will tell you that. If you ask Oxford English Dictionary, they will tell you that. I've checked all of these places because he's correct. I studied accounting in 1985, 40 years ago, and I wrote the CPA exam in 1994. That's 30 years ago. And I became a member of the Maryland Board of Accountancy for CPAs in 1994. But the rule for primary balance is still the same rule because I checked everywhere else. It is still the same rule. And what I find interesting is that the other governments in the OECS, they use that rule.
So I just want to break it down because as I was listening to him, I wrote it down. When he says the
Yes,
debt amortization, he says it's reoccurring revenue minus the less reoccurring expenditure,
correct.
excluding the interest, which
Correct.
gives you the primary balance. And
Exactly.
then
That's
he says after you get the primary balance, you deduct the interest,
he's
which is
totally
equal to
confused.
the overall balance.
He's
So,
totally
so,
confused.
so let's see if somebody on the platform know a bit of maths and accounting other than you and I. So the Prime Minister is saying, so the reoccurring revenue
Mhm,
minus your reoccurring expenditure, but
mhm.
you're
And
leaving out the interest
add back
of
the
these
interest, yes.
reoccurring expenditure. You're
And that's the
getting the
primary
balance,
balance.
then you deduct it, and then you get that's your overall balance.
No, he's wrong with that. Let me make sure I get that
Then he
again and
says
everybody
here,
gets
one
it.
second, he says the overall balance is a surplus and it goes to additional spending or bringing down the debt.
Yes. He's wrong and he's lying because in at page one
Wait,
of the
if you
budget.
say that, he can try and sue you if you say call him a liar in
No,
your
he's
system.
lying. I can say he's lying because what he's saying is not what's in the balance sheet. And
Go ahead.
if you want me to use a different word, I will use a different word. But
No, but
I
you're the
mean to
lawyer,
say
so you have to defend me too on this platform, eh?
I mean to say he's untruthful. In the budget, and I have the budget here, at
Yes.
page one, at page one of the budget, it has the recurrent revenue to be 1,492,166,278. And then you have the estimated expenses at 1,847,200,599. Then he has debt amortization, and that is wrong. The only thing you can take out there is interest. So he has debt amortization, which he deducted of 621,639,527. That is wrong. What the only thing you can deduct there is the interest. I've checked all the other Eastern Caribbean states. Their budget, the only thing they deduct is the interest. You cannot deduct the amortization, the payments you make into principal to arrive at the primary balance. You cannot. You can only deduct the interest. St. Kitts deducted the interest. St. Lucia deducted the interest. Dominica deducted the interest. All the others deducted the interest. Antigua, in order to come up with a surplus, forged, cooked up another 500 million in order to get a surplus. There is no surplus, there is a deficit.
Keep going, because I want to show you some numbers that came out when I did my own calculations too, with the
Okay,
numbers that you sent, the
right,
actual numbers that you sent.
right.
And I am not an accountant, I got to keep saying again, and I don't know the numbers.
Mhm.
But from what is coming up again, I'm going to share a couple of red flags with you. And then
Okay.
you can take me through whichever one. So, from all the documents that you've sent,
Mhm.
a couple of red flags here is saying one of the big red flags here in plain talk is to let people understand that if the audits can't verify the books, parliament and the public can't be sure the full picture is being presented. And it's basically talking about the documentation regarding the DOA 2014 report 2017 2018, because they're saying there's certain documentation missing. Like there's certain tracking for the
Right.
monies.
The Department of Audit has never been able to reconcile the accounts of the government. When an auditor audit a statement, they give one of four opinions. If the if the accounts is in agreement with his audit, he gives you an unqualified opinion. The accounting is in order, unqualified. If there are minor issues that he cannot say it is in order, in full, he will give you a qualified opinion, which
Mhm.
means that except for this thing, they are in order. So that's the qualification. This item of the accounting is not in order, and that's a qualified. When they cannot give you an opinion, the book is so helter skelter, they cannot find things, everything is so erratic.
Okay,
No
Mr.
opinion.
Bowen, Internet, are you okay?
You can hear me?
Yes, but I think you're frozen on the screen. Okay,
All
you're
right.
good now. Don't do anything. You're good. You're good. Go ahead.
Oh, so I'm
Sorry.
saying, sorry,
Yeah.
yeah, the unqualified opinion,
Mm-hmm.
the qualified opinion, and the disclaimer of opinion. And the disclaimer of opinion is when they cannot reconcile sufficient portions of the balance sheet or the income statement that they just cannot give you an opinion. Antigua's financial statement for the last 10 years, they can't give no opinion. It is irreconcilable. They cannot give you an opinion. It is so bad. The director of audit, in every audit report that he published since 2014, speaks to millions and hundreds of $1 million of unauthorized spending. Speak to Treasury have one figure, he gets another figure, and in almost all of the accounts. It's a bag of mess.
So, with regards to the numbers, and let's
Yes,
talk about this surplus. In
yes,
plain language, it is saying
yes,
to me here from my own research, and you can correct my numbers. It's saying the 2026 budget in 1 minute is basically saying the government says reoccurrent revenue is 1.49 billion and
yes.
reoccurrent spending is EC 1.2 billion.
Well, it says 1.847 billion, but they're deducting from it the debt amortization. That is all the debts they have to pay back in 2026.
And this surplus that we're talking about, isn't that going to be a new borrowing? Is not them borrowing money for this to say that it's a surplus? How do we understand where this 500 something million is coming from?
All right, let me try to explain it. Under the law of primary balance or the convention
What just happened?
of my phone from getting
Oh,
calls.
I thought you had a blackout.
Sorry. Yes, I am
Go
saying
ahead.
the debt amortization is all the debts that the government has to repay in 2026. And that amount to $621 million. Those debts are due to be paid. But what the government did in this, or what the Minister of Finance did, it deducted those payments from the expenditure for 2026 in order to create a surplus. What the convention allows, the accounting convention allows, is to deduct the interest payments. And the interest payments for 2026 for Antigua and Barbuda is $138,442,795. $442,795. That's the interest. That
Interest.
is what is permitted to be deducted. And all the other budgetary estimates for the OECS, they deduct the interest only. But Antigua and Barbuda deduct the entire debt service for 2026
Why?
because they want to create a false surplus. They want to fool the people. They want to say, we have a surplus. It's election. We want to say we are doing good, just like how he's got up in his budget speech and he paint all these rosy pictures. It's all false.
Honorable Bowen, I don't know what's going on with your phone tonight. These are some good questions, guys. Keep the questions coming because I see Sharon asks, what's the recommendation by the auditors? And I see Monique is asking, who physically prepared this budget? Who signed off on it? Which professional forensic accountant will say this is a true budget? What's going on, Honorable Sheriff Bowen? What's going on with his internet? Let's see. But let's continue with what the Prime Minister had to say about the calculations by Sheriff Bowen. Once he comes back on, I'll add him to the platform.
Recurrent expenditure. It excludes interest. That gives you what is called the primary balance. Then when you deduct the interest, what is called,
Let's go back.
Mr. Speaker, you have recurrent revenue, less recurrent expenditure. It excludes interest. That gives you what is called the primary balance. Then when you deduct the interest, you get what is called the overall balance. And then what happens if your overall balance is a surplus, as is the case for the last couple of years, then that could go towards additional spending or you can bring down your debt. In our case, Mr. Speaker, there has been a reduction in the debt to GDP down to 61.4%. And my understanding is that a member for St. Philip South questioned the veracity of the debt position. So are you saying that the Financial Secretary, the distinguished Razona Davis Crump, someone who was served under the UPP, appointed under the UPP, are you saying that she doesn't have the integrity, along with the others in the Ministry of Finance, Peter Abraham, Caroline, all of them, they don't have the integrity to present accurate figures to this Honorable House? Are you saying, member for St. Philip South, because I didn't prepare the budgetary estimates, I participated in the writing of the budget statement because I'm familiar with everything.
I don't know what's going on. Honorable Bowen, can you hear us? Because I see you attempting to be in and out of the chat, but I'm not hearing anything. Are you there? Is it okay? Can you hear us?
Government. So I can afford to write the statement. The Financial Secretary does the first draft. I expand it. And then we send it to the distinguished Ron Sanders to get the language and so on right, because he is the specialist when it comes to literature. And you're saying that those distinguished members of the Ministry of Finance, and I want to thank them very much for putting together an excellent budget. Are you saying that they are misleading this Honorable House? Are you trying to impugn their character? The same people who you aspire to lead? Is that appropriate behavior? And do you have any evidence, even a scintilla of evidence, to state otherwise? Clearly not. But again, you come here with your sensationalism, trying to score cheap political points and impugning people's character. Mr. Speaker, on the issue, so I think I explained how we arrive at the primary and overall surpluses. And I hope that's a settled issue. Debt amortization, Mr. Speaker, we have about $3.8 billion in debt. My understanding, the member for St. Philip South said that in 2014 the debt was $2.6 billion. That's totally untrue. Took off a whole $1 billion off of it. And what has happened for the last couple of years, there's been no increase in the debt. And when you look at the debt that we inherited in 2014 at $3.6 billion, it's now at 3.8. For an administration to only borrow a net in terms of the increase.
I'm not sure what's going on. Honorable Bowen, can you hear me? Okay, let's see if he rejoins the platform. I don't know what's going on there because I can see him here in the chat, but I'm not hearing him, guys.
Dollars increase in debt in aggregate terms by $200 million in 11 years. That is a remarkable feat, Recognizing that the port alone, in which we borrowed about nearly $90 million to build that. It tells you, Mr. Speaker, barring that major infrastructure in which we rebuild a new port, that we have been paying down debt. So the reduction in the debt is not just as a result of the denominator in terms of the GDP. It's also about literally reducing debt. First of all, we kept it constant, and then reducing debt in aggregate terms. So when you compare, for example, Mr. Speaker, our performance in 2025 over 2024, there has been a reduction in the aggregate debt. And then you also have an increase in the denominator, the GDP. As a consequence, our debt to GDP now is literally 61.4%, practically at the 60%, which is the international benchmark for an acceptable level of debt to GDP. Now, I want to say here, Mr. Speaker, members on the other side could get better credibility and more support if they will acknowledge the things that are factual, rather than try to fabricate figures, fabricate stories to undermine what is true. I recall, Mr. Speaker, when I was in opposition, I supported the then government. I gave credit for many things that they have done. In fact, my magnanimity is such that, or was such that, and still is, because I'm still magnanimous, still employ many of them now. That's why they're coming over to our party in droves. The magnanimity, Mr. Speaker, was such that many of the initiatives that they pursued were as a result of my recommendations. The CIP, typical example, even the building of the new airport. I remember they invited me to the opening ceremony. The groundbreaking ceremony for the airport, the new airport.
All right, the Honorable Sheffield Bowen is back on the platform. I want to let you guys know that some of these numbers that's here that we put here that we got a response from in plain talk to understand. It says the government says day to day it's in surplus, but a huge chunk of debt principal comes due. So they still have to borrow or refinance hundreds of millions of dollars. So, in what we're talking about here, in the sense of yes, we're living in a surplus according to the government, but we're still borrowing to pay. But we have the Honorable Sheriff back on the platform. Honorable Sheriff, when you were breaking down some stuff to us. Oh, what happened there? I think maybe he pressed something there just now. He pressed something there, maybe. He's gonna come back in. But I want us to have a snapshot to understand. I think I hear him click back into the platform. I've given a moment. Yes. Honorable Bowen, are you ready? Are you back? We gotta lock this in. We gotta break down the numbers. Can you hear me? I can hear you. I can see you. Can you hear us? You're in, you're in, you're in. I don't know what's going on. What's going on? You're in, you're in. I can hear you and see you. Oh, oh, come on. Let's get this thing going. We got to get these numbers out. I see somebody saying about putting it on a PowerPoint presentation. I was doing the work to get that done. I just didn't get a chance to finish that part of it. It's a lot of work, you know. It's like a lot of work. But I saw you when you came in and I could hear you, but you weren't hearing me and seeing me. All right. So can you try to come back in, please? Thank you. Okay. Okay. We got to get him in so we can, get into the meat more of the numbers too, because I want him to break down the unauthorized spending. I want you to get those actual figures for unauthorized spending from 2020, and we're gonna break those down. Can you hear us? Are you good? We can see you and hear you. I can see you and hear you. Let me send him a private message or something. I can see you and hear you. I can see you. I can hear you. How do we let him know that we can see him? I don't think he knows that I can see him and hear him. What's happening? What's happening? It's not me today. It's not the look, he's there, but like he's not hearing us. Honorable Boyne, can you hear me? I don't know what's going on. Why every time we have these kind of conversations, this foolishness happens, eh? I can hear you, and I can see you, sorry, but I don't think you're hearing me or seeing me, but we're seeing you on the platform. You can't hear us? Okay, so maybe you might need to restart your phone or something and then come back in the link and see if that's okay. All right, okay. All right. We're gonna get it done. We're gonna get it done. We're gonna get it done. Can you believe that? Tell me your thoughts. Everybody who's on the chat at the moment, on the live, tell me your thoughts. I want to get the Honorable Sheriff Burn settled. How about now? Can you hear us and see us? Tell me you can hear me and see me. Tell me you can hear me and see me. I am here. I am here. I'm here. We are here. Are you? You can hear us. I heard you just now.
Okay.
I can hear.
All right. All right.
Nice. I was getting
Mm.
worried. I was getting worried. I don't want to get worried. All right. Can you hear us now? You good?
Me?
You good? I can hear you. Even if you freeze on the screen, we're gonna work with it. We just need the audio. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
All right. You're frozen on the screen. We'll take that instead of no
Oh, wow.
picture. Don't
I don't
worry
know what's
about it.
happening. Hmm.
That's all right. So I wanted you to let's go back to this discussion regarding deducting the entire debt that is due for 2026
Right.
instead of just the interest. So
Correct.
that it shows a surplus. Can you break
Right.
that down as
Right.
much as possible for us?
Right. Okay. Well, the interest for the year is 138 million, but the entire debt payment for the year is 621 million. So, of course, if you deduct the 621 million, you're going to get more money available than if you only deduct the 138 million, because the entire expenses for the year is 1.8 million. So if you deduct the interest only of 138 million, you will end up with 1.7 million as expenses. But if you deduct the 621 million, you will end up with only 1.2 million billion as expenses to be paid. And it will show that you have more money than you actually have because those debts has to be paid. You
Okay.
with me so far?
Yes, we are. Somebody is suggesting that you take off your video alone because maybe that
Mm.
will give us a better audio. So if you just
You want me
take
to
off the
take it off?
yeah, if you
Take
take
off the
off just the
video.
camera, that might help you with the
Okay,
signal.
okay, correct. Okay, let me
Yep,
try that.
and it does too. That's excellent.
Yes.
Sorry that we can't see you to have the discussion, but can you take over now so that we can give a more in-depth understanding of what is the fluffing, where it has been fluffed, what should we pay attention to, where are the red flags? Just give us everything.
Okay, so the entire expenses for the year includes interest, but it does not include debt principal payment because debt principal payment is not an expense.
Go ahead.
So primary balance is a measure, it's a yardstick, a litmus test of an organization ability to pay its debts. So they take out the interest expense and see if you have enough money to pay the other expenses other than the interest. So Antigua and Barbuda have recurrent expenses of 1.8 billion, but only 1.4 billion in income revenue. You see that? So
Yes,
there's
I'm
a
making notes.
yes. So there's a 300 and something million dollars that they just don't have the money to pay. That's a deficit. But the convention, the accounting convention, allows you to ignore the interest for the time being to get the primary balance. And if you ignore the interest of 138 million, then you only have a deficit of 200 million, 216 million,
Instead of the 300 and something.
instead of the 300 and something. Correct.
Okay.
Correct. So that is the true picture. But what this budget does, it took out the 621 million to create a surplus because now if you take 621 million from 1.847 billion, you will only have net expenses of 1.225 billion. And if
All
you
right.
yes,
Sorry,
go
when
ahead.
you finish. No, no, when you finish first.
And if your net expenses is 1.225 billion and your revenue is 1.492 billion, then you have a surplus.
All right. So, Honorable Boyne, I'm going to ask you to do it in layman's terms, like the
Right,
man on the street, and I
right.
just have $100, 100
Okay.
EC,
Well, let me take it as a number $1,492, $1,847. And then in that way, I can call it $138. If you have income of $1,492,
1492. That's my
yes, that's
income.
your income.
Mm-hmm.
And you have expenses of $1,847.
1847 expenses. All right.
Yes. Then you cannot pay your debts, right? You cannot pay your expenses.
Yeah, that is accurate there because I'll be out by who's the biggest calculator? The 455.
Sounds good to me. Let me get a calculator and add it myself too, so we all know what
Subtract.
we're saying. We have income of $1,492.
Yes.
That's our income, total income
And
for the month, fourteen
expenses
hundred ninety-two, and
1847.
you have expense of 1847. So you're broke. You cannot
That's
pay your.
455, right? Isn't it?
Yeah, I'm just checking it now. 355. You're short of 355.
355, sorry. All
Yes.
right, 355. So
Yes.
if I'm working for 1492 every single month for the 12
Right.
months,
Yes.
but my expenses is 1847, I'm going to be short by $355
Dollars every
every
month.
month.
Yes.
All right, let's go from there for the layman terms instead of
Right.
using Prime Minister billions and trillions.
Right. However, there is a convention says, let's not worry about the interest now. The interest is in the 1847, but
Okay.
we don't wish to worry about it now. So we say we don't have to pay the $138. So we only short $217.
Mm. So I will say every month I will only be short $217.
So long as I don't have to pay the interest, I am short of $217. That's my deficit.
Mm-hmm.
Good. And that's a true picture.
Okay.
What the budget did is that it took out not only the interest, it took out the entire mortgage payment.
So the deficit and the interest.
The income minus the expenses without regard to the interest. I'm short $217.
Oh, so it took out the whole 355 then.
They took out 621 because that's what you have to pay the bank, principal and interest.
Oh,
You
ouch.
understand? And now they say they have a surplus. Okay, now let's do it again. 1492.
Wait. It's a good thing we do this way. Okay, so 1492, then
Right, that's your
1840.
income.
Yes, and then
1847 is your expense. You were
yes,
short $355. That's what you were short.
yes. Mm-hmm.
But now he says, let me not, the mortgage payment is 621. So he's saying, let me not pay the 621. And now
Okay.
you have a surplus of 266.
Mm.
But
Wow, wow, wow.
you cannot take out the debt payment. You only can take out the interest.
So, can you talk a little bit about the budget itself doing this, taking
Mm,
this whole 621 million that is that is due to be paid? It
right.
takes it out to give us surplus. Now, let's talk about our surplus. What false imagery is it giving to the budget, and then how can it harm what's going to unfold for 2026?
Right. So by saying that we have a surplus, you now say that you can do more things than you can really do. But he
Mhm.
knows that you cannot do those things. You're actually going to have to borrow the money to do those things. So he's not telling us that this 500 million extra is what he has to borrow to do
Mm.
these things. He's saying he has the money to do it. But no, you do not have the money because you really have to pay the debt. You, it doesn't go away because you take it out. You with me so far?
Of course.
So now this is a false premise that there is this surplus when there is not. There is a deficit.
Wow.
And then
So, go ahead, sorry. You go ahead. You go ahead.
and then he makes all kind of rosy pictures from from the surplus that he says we have. And he said we're gonna do this and we're gonna do this and we're gonna do this and we're gonna do that. And then he masks the true debt that he has to borrow in order to make the budget balance. So now in this very budget, it comes out that we have a surplus. But then the next bill on the other paper is permission to borrow 1.6 billion
Why, if we have a
because you
surplus?
really need to borrow the money to pay the debt. Can you
But
have
we
no
have a
money to pay the
surplus.
debt? Huh?
But if you have a surplus, you wouldn't take the money from the surplus, as he's saying?
Exactly the point. But you have to borrow because you're lying when you said you have a surplus.
Hmm.
You with me so
Keep,
far?
keep going. Yes, of course.
Yes. So this is the first part of the false impression with respect to the budget.
So you spoke earlier and you said the surplus is giving a false impression that we have $500 million extra to spend. And
Right.
then you're saying here that there's a bill for us to borrow for 2026, $1.6 billion.
Correct.
Okay, so
But here's
if we
another
need,
thing about the budget. So
go
before you
ahead.
may ask that
You
question, the
you go ahead.
budget has another strategy where they budget certain expenses, but in fact, they have a different intention. So as soon as the budget is passed, they prepare a revised budget with bigger numbers.
Oh. Have you noticed this pattern in 24, 23, 22 going back?
Correct, yes. And this is why we have the unauthorized expenditure, because they are spending from the revised budget, not the one that was passed.
Hmm.
You see that?
So I wanted to go to ask this question, and I saw that Sharon reminded me here when I mentioned $500 million extra, and I mentioned a surplus, but Sharon is saying there's no surplus. So I shouldn't even say that. So is it a situation where the budget is being presented that we have a surplus? We don't really have a surplus, but we're borrowing what exceeds a surplus, which is like $1.6 billion in
Exactly.
2026.
Exactly. Now, here's how he explained that when we went to that bill. He says that part of the 1.6 billion that they intend to borrow is to pay down additional debts because the interest rate is too high. So whereas 621 million is due to be paid, he's saying they're going to pay more than the 621 million. That is, some of it is not yet due.
So where, okay, all right. Honorable Boy, this is not funny. This is, but
It's not.
it's laughable. You know why it's
Mm,
laughable? Because what we're doing and able to discuss here, without Chat GPT, you and I would have still been in the past of
mhm.
understanding numbers. I'm just saying, on
Right.
a real,
Right.
because I was able to put these numbers in Chat GPT to actually get an understanding or some level of understanding, and I can follow in what you're saying. Last year, the year before, and the year before that, we didn't have this kind of access. We didn't even know that we can do this. What does this reveal? I mean, what does the UPP think about this? What do you think about this? Like what's going to happen? Because he's already presented this budget. He's the prime minister. He's going to sign these things off. We're going to borrow. What's going to happen in 2026? Like,
They're
what's
going to
happening?
do they're going to do the same thing they did in 2025, in 2024, in 2025. They're going to spend
Honorable Bowen, you went
they're going
quiet
to
there. So
spend
go ahead.
other than what the budget. Excuse me?
No, no, I was saying you dropped out for a minute, but keep going. It's okay.
Yes. They're going to just revise the budget after it's passed and spend the numbers that they want to spend.
So my question, hey Sharma, you're late to class. You should pay a fee. A couple of coffees is your fee, Sharma. You're late. You know how long we started? We all the way in the maths class talking money. But Honorable Bowen, I was going to ask, because you were able to go back in these revised budgets, is that how you were able to find the unauthorized spendings from 2020 to 2024? And if so, can we talk about that?
Right. Now, the unauthorized spending, it is they who lay on the table the unauthorized spending for 2020 up to 2024. They lay that on the table.
Was
Prior
anybody,
to,
did anybody request it or they just offered it?
no, because the law is that if you spend monies that are not allocated in the budget, you have to bring that to Parliament within 12 months. Now, 2020 to now is 5 years, and
Yes.
they have not bought them, so they just bought them now. Instead of bringing them within the 12-month period, they're now bringing 2020, 2021 up to 2024. And it is that document from which now we can see where they spend the unauthorized money.
Mm. You can go ahead and break those down for us, please.
Okay, well, let's look at that. In 2020, You remember 2020, we had COVID. We were locked in for some portion of the year.
No, the
Part of,
entire year into 2021 too.
correct. Part of it, we were allowed to go outside for a few hours during the day. During that year, the government, especially the Ministry of Works, found a way to spend several $100 million over the budget amount. Now, one would have think because we were locked in, you could not even spend the budgeted amount, much more to spend more than the budgeted amount.
Hmm.
But in fact, they did. And let's look at that. Let me find it here. In 2020,
Don't worry,
the-
Honorable, and I wrote down all the numbers you sent me, and I can break it down till you find it. For
right,
unauthorized spending in 2020, $162 million.
that is it.
The
That's the number.
ministry, the Ministry of Work spent $107 million.
Correct.
In
Now, can you imagine?
2021, I want to break them down and then you can
Go
help us
ahead,
with
go
this
ahead, go
because
ahead, go ahead,
these are some major numbers.
go
In
ahead.
2021, $137 million, this was spent over the budget, and
Yes,
$90 million alone was spent in the Ministry of Works. And
yes,
then in 2022, $245 million spent on
yes.
authorized spending in total, and
Mhm.
150 million of that was spent in the Ministry of Works.
Right.
2023, $163 million, and 118 million of that was spent in the Ministry of Works. 2024, $81.7 million, and $40 million of that was spent in Ministry of Works. Take it
Correct.
away, Minister Bowen,
Right.
because I'm like, Bronco, Maria, ministry get real money. We're going on.
Real money, especially
It's like real
2020.
money, even in
tw-
COVID.
Yes,
What?
2020 is the most offensive because we
No,
were
no, no, no,
locked
no.
in
2022 is the most offensive. I think you missed that one because
in
in
terms of the
2020,
amount. In
yeah,
terms of
because
the amount. But I'm saying 2020, where would they be doing to spend extra money?
true,
Where? How?
true.
And it wasn't spent by the Ministry of Health. We were not buying ventilators with that money.
Hmm.
We were not giving out stimulus.
We didn't have money to give a stimulus, isn't that what you said?
But they were buying motor cars.
We didn't have, but wait, Honorable Bowen, these monies that went missing, well, these monies unauthorized spending, were you able to pinpoint where this money was spent? As in
Yes.
the 107 million, and you said some numbers look alarming to you, but according to my notes, I would like to know in 2020, the Ministry of Work spent 107 million, in
Uh-huh,
2022, 150 million, in
uh-huh,
2023, 118 million.
uh-huh.
And you know where these monies went? Like where did these monies go? Which
Well,
part exactly?
in 2020, 16.9 million went in purchasing motor cars of these.
16.9 million
Yes,
in 2020.
in 2020. And the entire budget for rental and purchase of motor cars for that year was 2.1 million.
No way.
And they spent an extra 16.9 million in motor cars.
So wait. Remember the budget, this 16.9 million is what is extra from what was already
Yes,
spent according to the budget in
what
the
was approved. Correct.
not until can go, sir.
Yeah. In 2020. And you may find the 245 million is a bigger number. But in 2020, the days were past when we were locked in. Who they buying motor cars for?
Wow. So 2022, $150 million. You can
Right.
point like where that money
Okay.
was spent.
In that year, 23.7 million was purchasing motor cars.
No, man. No. You sure your numbers right? You see, now I'm gonna have to say like the prime minister. Now you just want to fabricate
Right.
and bring numbers, and you want to sound fluffy and important because it can be factual. It can be
Okay.
in 2022 we spent $23 million. How much exactly?
23.7.
Twenty-three
Let's
point
take it.
seven to be exact.
Million, yes. Let me look at them. They made a special warrant number 25 of 2022 to supplement the provision made for rental of motor vehicles for 8 million extra. They made another special warrant number 316 of 2022 for another 5 million to pay for rental of motor vehicle. They made a third special warrant number 369 of 2022 for another 2.7 million, 1 million US to pay for rental and of vehicles. They made another warrant, number 202 of 2022, for 3 million extra to pay for purchase of vehicles. And they made this is now the fifth warrant, special warrant, number 283 of 2022 for another $5 million to purchase motor vehicle. Altogether, 23.7 million that they use extra to purchase and rent motor vehicles in 2022.
Wow. So it says the Ministry of Works for 2022, $150 million spent in the ministry. So if
Right,
23.7 million spent in vehicles,
right.
the other 125 almost million, where did that go?
Let me find that as well. There's a lot of paperwork here, but let me find that and help you with that. 2022, you're asking about, right?
Yes.
2022. In the year 2022, let's take some real nice big one here. Oh, travel,
What?
ticket expenses, and what they call per diem expenses. They put in special warrants for an extra 200,000 for that.
No, no, no. You pass over that really fast. In 2022, you said traveling expenses for how much?
An extra in 2022, the budget allowed for $180 million, $180,000 for the Governor General's travel, and they put in an extra 200,000 for that
For the Governor General's travel?
travel. Correct, yeah,
As in
and per
Governor
diem.
General Sir Rodney Williams?
Yes, correct. That's what they put in extra for that.
All
Now
right, keep
let's
break it
go.
down.
Keep going, break it down for you.
Break it
Um,
down. Break it down. You
yes.
see, the man call you a liar, and he say you want to be a fluffer because you just got an honorable deputy leader position. So
Right. In the Prime Minister's office, they put in an extra 600,000 for travel. The budget gave him 200,000 for travel, and he puts in an extra 600,000.
and that's at the Prime Minister's office.
Yes, for travel.
Mm.
Wait, oh, there's some more coming up. So it's 150, 350, 5, 1 million extra for travel for the Prime Minister's
No,
office.
Honorable Bowen, you send those numbers to me.
Yes, if you find the 2022
You said
sheet,
$1 million for travel.
extra, not for travel, extra.
No, what? No, 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 no. I'm not prepared. I'm not being. I'm just not prepared. Like,
Mhm.
okay, all right. Keep going, please. Let's
Let's go
let's do
ahead.
this.
Yes, let me get some more of it.
Let's do this. Somebody find Dave A B Square. So like somebody tag him, please. Wow.
Here's another 15 million, 30 million allocated to a raise of salary. That is probably some back pay or something that was given in that year. $30 million. That was not in the budget.
How much?
30 million, 30 million,
1 3?
30 million.
No, no. Wait. 30 for what, Honorable Bowen?
A raise of salaries. It's probably a back pay or something.
Which and in 2022.
Yes.
Okay.
Then 6.5 million was paid. It marks payment to Lake Kentish and Bennett for representing Jolly Beach Corporation to complete the purchase of the resort. 6.5 million extra.
Rob, is it Barrett or somebody else?
Payment to Lake and Kentish Bennett for representing Jolly Beach Corporation to complete the purchase of the resort.
Six, how much?
6.5 million extra.
Wow. Okay. No, we gotta keep going. We gotta keep going. We
Yes.
gotta keep going because I'm gonna put. You sent these documents to these numbers to me, and we're gonna put these numbers
Yes.
out. Like somebody
Yes.
asked, like we're gonna put these numbers out there. It gotta be out there. It's a
All right.
must.
Good. Special warrant 228 of 2022, 1.2 million overtime to customs.
How much?
1.2 million
But wait,
overtime to
ongoing. You
customs.
you you hitting a lot of millions and millions, and these are millions of overspending, not budgeted for.
Correct.
All right.
Correct. Still in 2022.
And we're still covering this 150 million. That is the
That's what
overspending for the
that's
Ministry of Works.
it's not 200 and something million. Oh no, well, not
You're doing
everything
the
there is in
full
Ministry of Works.
245. You're doing the
It's
full
not everything
245.
for the Ministry of Works. If you want me to deal with the Ministry of Works by itself,
No, no,
some of
it's
these.
okay. I
Mhm.
think you're doing the full 245. I have the
Right,
numbers
correct,
there. Okay.
correct,
Okay. I'm
correct.
following. I'm following.
Yes.
Don't worry. I'm got it.
So now let's continue looking at these overspending for the year 2022. And
And then what are some of the ones that really stood out to you that are like really exorbitant and really a mismatch? Like what are some of those big numbers too, once you're ready?
okay, yes, I'm gonna get to those. Um, in the Ministry of Education, there is 1 million, a little over a million to pay 60 substitute teachers.
60
That were
substitute.
teachers, untrained teachers were
Yes.
paid just over $1 million.
$1 million.
Yeah.
Did it break down like the period of time and any of these? Do we have anything like that, or we just have these labeling and amounts?
It says payment to 60 substitute untrained teachers effective the 4th of January 2022. That's for the year.
Okay.
And then another 578 to pay 70 substitute teachers from the 1st of January 2022 to the 31st of March 2022, as per
Five
cabinet decision. Yes.
five what? Five what?
578,000.
578,000
Right.
to for
To pay
70 of them.
70 substitute teachers from January to March.
And the 1 million is from
and
when?
and the other 495 together is above a million. The other
Okay.
495,000 is to pay 60 substitute untrained teachers beginning from the 1st of April 2022.
Wow.
Yes. All right. So that's for
Yes.
the Ministry of Education. In the Ministry of Works now, this is where the money was actually spent. Let's take some time with that. Overtime, 3.5 million. Purchase of tires, 4.5 million. Payment for purchase of fuel and oils for motor pool, 4 million extra. That is 4 million on top of the 4 million that was budgeted. 8 million supplemental provision for rental of vehicles. 5 million for rental of vehicles. 2.7 million for rental of vehicles. $1 million for rental of vehicles. 600,000 for rental of heavy duty equipment. 3 million to supplement road repair works. Another 5 million for road repair works and drains. 500,000 for maintenance of concrete and hot mix plant. Increase in petrol, fuel for the Ministry of Works again, 1.3 million. Another 1.5 million again for petrol, fuel and oil for Ministry of Works. 2.5 million supplemental for quarry operations. 2 million other repairs and maintenance costs. 700,000 for payment of office cleaning. Wouldn't you like that contract, Miss Nikki?
700,000. I
For
see
office
Monique.
cleaning.
There's somebody in our platform here, one of our a member of our community, because we're a sippers community. We sip on truth and facts and we sip it real hot.
Mhm.
Monique is asking, all these rentals, who are they renting from and at what rate?
All it says is for rental. I do not know. We will
But
have
but
to get to it.
Honorable Gwen, what kind of rental is going to be a 8 million rental, 5 million rental, 2.5 million rental? Like what we renting?
We, my guess and your guess are about the same. I know there are a number of persons who provide transportation services to public works. They have a little van or something, and they will carry workers from one location to another location. But
Mm-hmm.
it's a nice little gig, and you know, once you're in that little clique, these are where you get all that money. Let's continue. Another 4.146 million for rental of office space.
Oh.
Another 500,000 again for rental of office space. Another 1.4 million for rental of office space. So rental of office space, which was $30 million, was in the budget for rental of office space. 30 million.
Yes.
And then they took another 6 point something million extra to pay for rental of office space.
And I see a very good question here. Somebody's asking, so we buying the vehicles and we renting vehicles too?
Yes.
All these vehicles can fit on Antigua Road. It's 108 square miles, man. I haven't left Antigua that long, and I don't think that we have new roads, and it's not that big.
Well, I was trying to imagine the number of vehicles and I got a vision of it. You know, when you have cricket at
Mm-hmm.
Sir Vivian Richards Stadium and you
Yes.
see all the cars parked outside,
Yes.
oh, that's the kind of imagination of vehicles the government purchased.
So the government is basically having those vehicles moving around Antigua and Barbuda right now. Because if we're saying that we spent 107 million, 90 million, 150, oh, well, these are not specific monies for the vehicles, depending on
Right,
the overspending in
right.
the ministry itself. There's
Mhm.
quite a number of vehicles that are going to be on the on the streets of Antigua and Barbuda. Like a
Well,
lot of
this
vehicles, and even the renting of the vehicles, it doesn't make any sense. It just doesn't make any sense.
88 million is what I count up, tabulate for vehicles. $88 million overspending.
$88 million
Correct.
from that's what that's for 2020,
2020 to 2024.
from 2020 to 2024. When you do the entire calculations, it's $80 million.
$88 million overspent.
$88 million.
Yes.
That's overspending, and we did budget for vehicles itself too.
Correct. Yes.
Wow.
Yes. Yes.
So there's another thing in your presentation that stood out. I made a note here, and I want us to touch on it. In your presentation in Parliament,
Mhm.
you said that you went to Transport Board and you tried to purchase 100 yellow cards, as in the
Yes.
registration yellow cards. Can you tell us a
Yes.
little bit about that and what led you to that investigation, and give us some more details there, please?
Well, I was investigating the overspending for vehicles, and I came across a list of 100 vehicles that was purchased in 2024. 100 vehicles by the government.
Wait, in 2024, 100 vehicles purchased by the Ministry of Works.
Yes. So I got all the plate numbers. So now I got to transport board to purchase those yellow cards because I want to see to whom they are registered. And I tendered my check. It was for $1,920 to pay for the yellow cards. Well, it's weeks and weeks. I'm keep going back for the yellow cards, and eventually they tell me the manager is dealing with it. And eventually they tell me they give me back my check. They're not giving me the yellow cards
Why?
because I'm up to mischief.
They said exactly that too.
No, they didn't say that. I'm giving you a reason why. They didn't say that. They just say they don't want my money.
So wait, give me more on this 100 vehicles. I
All
don't
right.
know if you can give out
Yeah.
anything, but I
Yeah,
want
I'll give
more.
you whatever I find. I'm looking for
So
it. I have plenty papers
in
here.
in in this 100 vehicles, are there any brand of the vehicle, type of the
Oh,
vehicle?
I have all that too. I'm
You
just
have
trying to
all.
find it.
Are there any Broncos in there?
Okay, let me find it and tell you.
Tell me on the
What
platform
what
now. If you
what I find interesting in the vehicles is that three-quarters of them have C plates and A plates.
okay, three quarters C plates and A plates, then there's not
Yes,
government. Then it should have a G plate if it's a government, right?
and they should all have government plates. But
Okay.
one-quarter of them have C plates and A plates, and three-quarters of them have E plates and A plates, and one-quarter have G plates. Let me just try to find that information amongst the many papers I have here. Okay, I think I'm finding it now. My
Take
letter
your time,
to
it's all right. Take your time. We're not gonna rush you unless it's time for bed.
yes.
It's 1:27 in the morning, my time, 8
Okay.
a.m.
All right. My letter dated December 1st, 2025 to the Manager of Transport Board. Dear sir, please supply the following documents related to the vehicles on the enclosed list. Document vehicle registration card. Enclosed is my check for payment for these services. Please advise when the information can be collected. Thank you for your cooperation. And the list of vehicles are
Mm-hmm.
Nissan. I don't know what's a QASHQAI. That's a SUV, right? We have two of that. Esquas Suzuki, two of that SUV. Jimny, sorry, SUV one. Nissan Note, three of those. And then we have Great Wall. Great Wall is the manufacturer of five Great Wall vehicles, SUVs. Then we have Hyundai Kona SUV. And then we have Nissan Frontier. These are pickup, and these are very expensive. It's like 10 of those, right? Nissan
10 Nissan
Irva,
pickup.
about 10 of them, yes.
Okay.
Frontier, right? Then we have Toyota now. Toyota Rays, two. Sportage, Kia Sportage, Ford Everest, BYD, six of those. Then we go to Ford Everest again, Ford Explorer, Toyota Prado, that's a very expensive one again.
Eh.
Yes. We have Toyota Yaris, Sanyang Muso, that's a pickup. These all have C plates, about four of those Sanyang Mobility Muso.
Oh.
Ford Ranger, another expensive one, three of those.
Mm.
Toyota Noah, Ford Ranger, Toyota Hiace bus.
Wait, remember to give the numbers because I'm
I'm
curious
gonna
to know how much you've each.
I'm gonna get to the numbers. Just giving a type vehicle.
Mm.
Toyota Hilux pickup, Toyota Voxy van, Ford Ranger again, Isuzu, another set of Toyota Hilux, Okay, now to get the plate numbers. A69036, A69037, A69367, A69368, A69587, A69753. A. Now these vehicles are part of the vehicle gate, not necessarily government purchase, but these are all the duty free for the vehicle gate. You following me?
How you know that?
That's the information I gathered, and that's why I went to check for the registration information.
Wow.
It's a part of the vehicle gate customs duty fraud. Let me not call it fraud. Custom duty transactions. These are what was being investigated with respect to vehicle gate.
So a lot of these numbers here from this 100 vehicles you're talking about, there's a pattern and a sequence with the registration numbers and so on. So these vehicles carry a sequence, a
It,
pattern.
it just means that it's the new vehicles they're getting sequential plates.
Okay. So it
Yeah,
doesn't
that's
mean
all
that,
it means.
sorry, it doesn't mean necessarily that they're all being brought in at a particular time or a bulk and then they're being batched, registered, or anything like that.
No, no, they could be registered different time. These are just sequential numbers issued with respect to a new vehicle registration.
Okay. Okay. So,
And it appears to me that these vehicles are involved in duty free transaction that the government is now refuting should not have duty free.
give us some explanation on that, what you mean, and what your investigations uncovered.
Okay, the duty free that were issued challenged that they were not authorized, and these monies never made it to the customs.
That's what the Prime Minister said.
That's what they're happening, right? And these vehicles are said to be with the duty free, but I want to make sure that they were purchased by the government because that's what the head of the paper is government vehicle purchase in 2024.
Mm.
But because so many of them have A plates and C plates, I want to see how they're registered. Because of these 100 vehicles, we have two with APB plates that are police, and maybe another 20 with G plates. All the others have A and C plates.
Would you give me the permission, Honorable Bowen, to share this information with my platform and my audience?
They to share what? The plate numbers?
The stats.
The
Can
stats. I
we?
can give, yeah, I can
Would
give you the
we? Would
stats.
we? Would we be violating anything if we put these numbers out here, out there in the public?
Well, I don't think we should deal with too much with the numbers until we can be verified that they are in fact government purchase. Because
Okay.
I wouldn't want to be uh, putting somebody who purchased a vehicle in a false light. But these
True.
are alleged to be government purchased vehicles and no duty paid because they're government purchase.
Okay, I can respect that.
But the
There's a
question that I
numbers.
have, why so many of them have regular plates?
I'm curious to know that because if it's a government vehicle, a C plate is for a company and an A plate is private.
And that's why I want to get the information from the transport board.
And they told you to keep your money because you're up to mischief. They didn't say the
Yes.
mischief part, but you're up
Yeah.
to no good.
Right. So if they're government purchase vehicle, I just want to see how they're registered.
Yes. So this is major. These numbers are staggering. It's basically showing that the Prime Minister Gaston Brown of Antigua and Barbuda, is not really the world boss, is he?
No, he's not the world boss at all. He's the person who has to answer all these questions that I'm raising. He has to give the answer. He has to calm the
Raise
fears of the public.
raise some more and let's talk
Yes.
about this. Let's give
Yes.
them some more because I know there's a lot more.
Yes.
And give them a general picture of what to expect in 2026 because we know taxes are going to come, right? Because if you have to borrow, you have to find a way to pay back these taxes or pay
Correct.
back the loan, sorry.
Right. Well, I took a view of the deficit spending since 2014. And it begins like 200 million to 300 million to 400 million. And it's going all the way up and it's going to go up and up until you get over $1 billion, which means
Well,
that every year they have to borrow what they overspent last year,
I
plus
think
what
on
they
that
need for this
point,
year. Mhm.
I think on that point, the Prime Minister said that the debt that they started with in 2020, 2014 has not increased in his statement. That's basically what he said.
That is not
Quote
true.
unquote, he said it's not increased and they've been paying down on the debt.
That is not true. I gave you the auditor's report, and if we cannot rely on the auditor of Antigua, the auditor general, then we are really in a bad shape. I give you the auditor's report for 2014. You
Yes,
have that with you?
I
And in
do.
that,
And I have it all the way up to 2018. Which one do you want me to
all
pull
right,
up?
pull up 2014,
Okay.
because 2014 will tell you that the auditor's verification of the national debt in 2014 is $2.3 billion.
Okay. I'm going to it. 1 second.
Yes,
2014.
yes.
So you want me to pull up, okay,
2014,
public debt. Okay, not the public debt, 2004 to 2014, 2014. 1 second. Okay,
right,
I got it.
right. The
DOA
public
20.
debt is at page 20.
All right, hold on. Page 20. I think maybe it's easy if I do it on my laptop. I have it on my laptop too. 1 second.
Okay.
1 second, guys. I'm getting it. I'm getting it. It's gonna get much easier than my phone. All right, page 20, we say. That's good. Page
Yes.
20, 27, 10, 11, 13, 15. All right, I'm on page 20, I think. Yes, I'm on page
Okay.
20.
Page 20, and it says a statement of public debt that you have statement for.
Yes.
Okay, and it's 2 pages. It begins with the domestic loans.
Wait, it says statement 6, actually.
Okay.
Am I
Okay.
looking,
Well,
am I
they
looking the wrong
have
thing?
two numbering. They have a numbering 20 at the bottom and 15 at the top. Which one you have?
20 at the bottom and 15 at the top. Hold on.
So you say
20, 15 at the bottom of the page. It says page 15.
right, and if
Okay,
you look
good.
in the
Statement
right hand
for
corner.
public debt. Perfect.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Good. So it has 2 pages. Domestic
Yes.
debts at the top
Yes.
and external debt at the bottom.
External loan, domestic loan and
Yes,
external loan.
correct. Yeah. So
Yes.
domestic debt is 1.4 billion. You have that
I see that. Yes.
1.4 billion, and external debt is 979 million,
I see that.
and the total together is 2.3 billion at the next page.
Next page. I see
Total
that. Yeah.
public debt.
238906475.
Right. The auditor. You see the accountant general signature on
It
it.
has a signature there, a stamp and everything that says accountant
Accountant
general
general Miss Gittens, she sign it,
and
and the
account.
other accountant sign it. You see that?
Yeah, that's what it says there. I'm
And it's
seeing
2
that.
point 2.389. That's the total debt.
So
Well, the
you're
Prime
not
Minister said in
lying
Parliament,
and
he said in
somebody else.
Parliament it's 3.8 million. That's what it
That's what
was.
he
So he
said.
said
I can
3.3 or
play that
something.
clip too. I can
Yeah,
play that clip
yes,
because I
yes.
played that earlier today. But the number
Correct.
is saying here 23890647750,
Correct. Correct.
and it is signed by the attorney, the accountant general,
Accountant
and the
General and the accountant.
2014, and this is a valid document. It's not a photocopy.
Exactly.
So who's the liar?
Tell me who is the liar. It's not the paper that is the liar.
Nobody need to wonder, eh? Keep
All right.
going.
So they took the debt from 2.389 billion to 4 billion. And the Prime Minister says, oh, the debt to GDP ratio is coming down. It began at 130%
5% on the UPP and is down now to 61%.
Mm-hmm.
So let me interpret that now. The debt moved from 2.3 billion downwards to 4 billion. That makes sense to you?
So I pulled up the public debt 2014 to 2024 that you sent me.
Yes.
And it's showing here from the Auditor General, like in the fiscal year ending 2014, the 31st of December, the national budget estimates 3 million. And the director audit report is 2 million something. Am I on the right page? Is that what the one you want me to look?
That's what you, yes, yes.
All right. So it's showing that that's the that, but at the bottom,
Mhm.
I'm looking, I want you to guide me because this one here, it says 2021 Director of Audit Report. It says during the financial year ending the 31st of December 2021, the domestic loans debt was reported as 1,422,000. No, I think that's 1
What is
billion.
that?
1
2021, you
billion.
said you're looking at?
Yes, yes.
You're
I'm
looking
on
at
the,
2021?
I think that's the last page for the public debt 2014 to 2024. And there's a last page there that
Oh, you're looking at the budget for this year. What are you looking at?
it says public debt 2014 to 2024. You had sent me that document. Am I in the wrong one or should I
No,
need to go to?
I know what you're now. Yes, let me look at that. Let me find that. Public debt over the period. I gotta find that for
Guys, I
you.
trust that you guys are buying me coffees tonight. Remember, we're going into the Christmas. I need a Christmas book.
Correct.
This is a late night job here that we're doing. We're breaking this down because we're not gonna sit down and eat no ham and turkey that they bring on the truck.
Good.
Hello. And not know what's happening for 2026 because you can yam turkey and ham now and then what happened January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. Okay. So
Right.
it is important for us to have this platform. This platform is important. This space is important. I'm not paid by anybody else but you buying me coffees, you sending me stars, sending me PayPals, sharing the live, leaving your comments, tagging individuals, sending me emails, information, even like the Honorable Bowen, accepting such an invitation, short notice, and spending so much time with us. This
Right.
is how we do it when it comes to educating the public. Honorable Bowen, I hope you have a credit card that works because you got to buy some coffee too, you know.
All right, cool.
Support this thing, you know, this thing serious. Okay, good. All right,
Yes.
let's go.
So in that document, you have the public debt in
I do.
2014 as determined by the director of audit as 2.389 billion. You have that correctly?
1 second, because I don't think I am looking at the right. Was I on the right page when I
Yes,
was
you
looking at
were.
it just now? I
Yes.
was on the right page.
Antigua
All right.
public debt 2014 to 2024.
Yes. So
And it
which
says
page
in
do I go to? Very last
at the
page?
top, the top, it says 2014 debt, director of audit, 2.389 million. That's what we just went over.
Yes, I got that one.
And at the bottom, the budget for 2025 says the public debt is 3.987 billion.
Hmm. 3.7. No, I'm not seeing that one because I need to go.
You have
24 is
2024,
left out. Yes, I think it's going to
2024,
24.
3.979. You have that?
Hold on 1 second. 2024. Three. Yes, I do. I see what's
Yes.
happening now. I see how to see it
Yes.
on the page. It's highlighted. Yes.
Right. So the debt doubled. Well, not fully doubled, but almost doubled from
Yes.
2.389 billion to now 3.987 billion.
3.798.
Three
Or the
point
or
three
the
point nine
and
seven nine for 2024.
yeah, and
And
look for 2026, I see it. For 2025, it's 3.863.
that's from where you're taking that one.
That is from, it says here, the 2025 estimates appendix public debt, and that would be page, I don't know if it even give a page.
Oh,
Page
okay.
11, page
Okay.
11,
Got you.
11
Yes.
of 18.
So you see the debt rose by almost $2 billion
Yes,
on the Gaston Brown tenure.
yes,
And he took it from just a little bit over 2 billion.
I see it here.
So you double the debt. And every year we have to borrow more money to pay back the debt that is due. because we never have enough money to pay back the debt that is due. And every year it gets bigger and bigger.
This is serious, Honorable Bowen. This is
And
serious.
very soon, the debt due in a year will be $1 billion. Very soon.
Let's go into that and give our audience an understanding quickly on that one.
Right. Today, the debt due to be paid is $621 million.
Mm-hmm.
That's what due to be paid in 2026 of our
Yes.
debts. And it keeps going up and going up and going up until it's going to get $1 billion. You follow me?
Yes.
And we are unable to pay these debts because we have expenses. We have $1 billion in revenue, but we have a lot of expenses exceeding $1 billion. And then we still have to pay our debts coming up almost to $1 billion.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why we have to borrow all that money every year to pay the debt.
How are we going to change a system where we can have more paper trail to see what was spent, who approved it, which contract, which vendors, what are the deliverables? Like, how are we able to keep track of that? Not even just the UPP, but the general public of Antigua and Barbuda, the people, the citizens.
Well, the only way to do that is to change the government. Because if you remember in 2004, when the government changed, they took all the records so that you cannot see what you need to see. What needs to happen is that we need to have a change of government and we need to protect the records, that the records stay in the government office. And that's when you will see. Because this government, it has a mandate, an understanding, an ethos that you do not get information.
Hmm.
They hide the information. We get this budget document the day before Parliament so that we cannot study them properly. Most of the bills we get when we go into Parliament, they're sitting on the desk waiting for you to debate. They don't want you to see the information because if you see the information, you might dig into it enough to find things that is unpleasant to them.
So this particular 2026 budget, when did you get this document? When did the UPP get the document?
Well, I got it actually the day of the debate.
The day of the debate?
Yeah, that's when I got it because they have a habit. I went to the clerk's office like a week before the debate, begging her, literally begging her for me to get the budget, the books, so I can study them. She told me that they have errors in them, so she cannot give me. The errors are being corrected. And eventually, the day of the debate, I got them.
Honorable Bowen,
Yeah.
what is in the future for Antigua and Barbuda with these numbers looking like this? And what are some of your stern questions to the Prime Minister of Antigua and Barbuda regarding this that is coming forth right now?
Well, the first question arising is the future of the CIP because a substantial portion of the budget comes from the CIP. Now, if the CIP is shot, then we have some serious trouble because we have to replace that revenue. And how will we replace that revenue? Are we going to go to the poor people and ask them to pay this money? Are we going to ask the citizens, especially the poor citizens, to pay this $300 million? Are we going to ask them to do that? How will we raise this money? Now, the government says that over in Barbuda, some $1 billion, $2 billion are being um, uh, purchase of properties. Now, such value in the purchase and changing of hands of property are to attract significant tax of 10%. They waive that tax. They waive the tax from people who can pay it. People to whom it's not a problem to pay.
Hmm.
And they ask the people who cannot pay to pay.
To pay.
The people who are struggling, who are suffering, they're asking them to pay. But they're telling the people in Barbuda, do not pay. They're waiving the property tax for the most wealthy, who live the best, who enjoys the benefit of what God has blessed us with. And they don't pay. Well, at least they don't pay on the books. They pay in different ways. And then they ask the poor people, those who are carrying the water and cutting the wood, those who are working so hard to survive, they're asking them to pay, to carry the burden.
Hmm.
This cannot be right. So we need a sea change. We need a government who will tell those who are wealthy, who can pay, pay up. If $1.7 billion US dollars was spent in purchasing property in Barbuda, there is $200 million US dollars in taxes to be paid.
Hmm.
Let us.
To be collected, yeah. Honorable Bowen, when you're giving the description of what's happening to the ABST, sorry, what's happening with regards to the small man, in my research on the numbers that you've given, again with the use of ChatGPT, when I'm asking it to give me it in layman's terms, it's basically saying $500 million in ABST means the budget leans heavily on what ordinary people pay when they buy the basics. And I didn't even
Exactly.
say that to you. I didn't even say that to you before you just said what you said and gave us the breakdown.
Observation. That's my observation. Most of the tax is carried by the poor, and it's cruel. It's wicked.
Hmm. I see we're having a question here. I don't know if you have any of your numbers, and maybe once you can find it, you can send it to me. Stancha is saying, for clarity's sake, the PM speaks consistently about the debt burdens ABLP inherited in 2014. What is the actual debt that UPP inherited in 2004? I heard the debt of 2+ billion in 2014, which ballooned to almost 4+ in 2024. So I want to get a picture of the debt management between the two administrations. And did UPP, on quote unquote, taking us to the IMF result in a direct economic decline? That's a question from our audience.
Good. Okay. I do not have the number for 2004, and I should have anticipated that. But it's a matter of time. I just did not have that number, and I will get it. I can promise you, I will get it.
And you can
Um,
send it. Fine.
and I will send it to you as well. Now the IMF. Now the IMF have certain austerity that goes with their programming, but
Honorable Bowen, you
you
there?
have to take the fluff and you have to sub. Yes, I'm here.
Okay, go ahead.
You have to balance. You have to balance when you're making this decision. It does carry some austerity measures, and the more you can negotiate out of things to hurt your people, the interest rate at 1 or 2% is far better than the 7 and 8% that you borrow otherwise. And so that's one factor in deciding whether you want to take the IMF money. If you can negotiate a way so that you do not have to desperately and negatively affect your poor, especially your poor, then you may have a deal because borrowing at 1 or 2% is preferably and it's easier to manage than borrowing at high interest rates. And that's a decision you have to make, by looking at all the factors, all the pros and all the cons and make it. Have not considered that because I
Mm-hmm.
am looking at the things that are before me right now.
That's all
and
right. That's
and
understandable. You see how vast and engaged my audience is? We're
yes,
serious.
yes, yes,
So I know that we've spent quite a lot of your time
yes.
here on the platform. We need
I can
to
come back
wrap up.
another time.
I would love for you to, so we can do a part two, and I'll wait to see what the Prime Minister has to say. I'll trust Dave ABZ Ray to take the word back to him and get a response, because Dave is his left, right, and middleman apparently. Um,
Yes.
so I wanted to say, I want to give you an opportunity for us to wrap it up, as in package everything to give a clear summary of what we discussed tonight, the numbers that stood out to you, where the
Mm,
Prime Minister is just plain out lying to the people of Antigua and Barbuda. And if he
mm.
say prove him, like he likes to say, we have to bring the facts. We can say, here, look at the
Right,
number, you lied.
right. Well, we begin again with the primary balance and the primary deficit. Primary deficit has the same meaning that it always have. It is determined by taking the projected revenues of a country for the year, and you deduct the projected expenses and add back to it the interest for the year. And that's where you get the primary balance. And if it's a negative number, it's called a primary deficit. If it's a positive number, it's called a primary surplus. In Antigua and Barbuda, the projected revenue for 2026, 1.492 billion, and the projected expenses, 1.847 billion. Now, the interest for the year is 138 million. So when you add that back, you're going to have a deficit, a primary deficit of 26 million. Now, the Prime Minister said it's a surplus. It is not. It's a deficit. To calculate it into a surplus, what they did is that they deduct, instead of deducting the interest for the year, they deducted the entire debt payments for the year, which is $621 million, to create a surplus. It's a phantom surplus. With respect to the overspending and those supplemental appropriations made between 2020 and 2024, all these numbers, 163 million, 245 million, various 100 million and various 100 million here and there and everywhere. These are unlawful, unauthorized, unapproved spending that somebody approve and somebody spend and somebody approve. They are done mostly by the Ministry of Works and they're approved by the Minister of Finance. And this has been going on
Well, the
at least,
Ministry of Finance, eh? Because the Prime Minister might say he didn't sign nothing that you don't know what you're talking about.
well, the
You
Ministry
don't
of
say the
Finance
Ministry of Finance.
and the minister has to approve it.
Well,
Mm. And so these unauthorized spending is not something that we can just turn a blind eye to, because Parliament would have spent a lot of resources in debating the budget and passing the budget, and it becomes a law, and that's the amount that ought to be expended. And when somebody barefacedly and without regard to the law spent 245 million extra in a year, I mean that is very wrongful.
in COVID, $162
That's the
million
part I was going
dollars
to say.
extra.
In COVID, when we're all locked in,
Well, the, mm-mm,
that one is egregious.
mm-mm.
Yeah. The
One
amount of
hundred and
money,
sixty-two million
million
dollars.
dollars in COVID, extra.
Wow.
I remember one time we saw a voucher. We somebody slipped one of those vouchers or two of them on the windshield of a car, and there was $5.7 million to purchase container houses for the prison.
What?
Yes, that happened.
And that didn't hit the public, Honorable
Yeah,
Bowen? What are you talking
it
about?
was, yeah, that was discussed on Observer Radio. I was there discussing
Oh,
that. Yes. And then the purchase of something else, some other equipment for another set of million again. These are the same things that I just went over in the summary form that
mm-hmm.
was laid on the table in Parliament. But if you actually get one of those special warrants, it will give you the detail of what was purchased and the price for it.
And you weren't able to get any?
No, no, I only get what they lay on the table.
Okay, okay. You know anybody that might know somebody that can leak something to us?
Well, somebody might hear this broadcast and bless us with these warrants. Let's hope for that.
Listen, I need them to bless you. I need them to bless you with the 100 yellow cards. You know, if somebody have a
Yes,
link, we need
yes,
transferred good to just
yes.
give up the yellow cards.
Right. Well, any information will analyze it and find what is worth. It's our money. I just went over that the poor, the vulnerable, the least situated in the country, they pay the most taxes. They carry the most taxes. So it's
Mm,
your money. It's your money, people. It's not abstract. It's your money. Everything you buy, every time you go to the supermarket, they took some kind of money from you to pay to the government.
yeah.
Every transaction you engage in Antigua, some money is paid to the government. It's your money. It's your money they're abusing like this.
Yes, indeed. Honorable Bowen, I know that you spent quite some time with us. I
Yes.
know that you have a Christmas party. I'm going to give you an opportunity to do a little shout out and promo. Don't make it a habit, but you can have a shout out and a promo for your Christmas party.
So the people, good people of St. Philip South, tomorrow is our Christmas party. Every year I entertain the kids. You make sure we have, the bounce castle and the face painting and all the games. The kids normally look forward to this. We will have all the lights and all the toys and everything. Please come out tomorrow, 3 p.m. until around 7 p.m. at the Bethesda Plain Field will be our Christmas party. And then after, the kids would have, time for them to go home. And so we will continue with some music until later. And, we will provide for the kids, food, drinks, toys, gifts, all sort of things. We just want to show the kids a very special time to know that they're special. This is something we do every year. Encourage everybody to come out tomorrow and let's just show the kids a good time. Thank you for that opportunity to say that.
Of course, of course. Thank you, Honorable Bowen, for your time. I know that you're very busy. Thank you for sharing all the documents with me and trusting me with the documents. I'm not going to put out the vehicle yellow card numbers. I know that you've sent that to me too, so we're going to hold on that. Any information that you want me to get out, help me to do so, please. And with regards to the numbers, I saw that Monique was asking for us to do like a PowerPoint or something. I'll look to see how we can put those numbers in an easier way for people to understand, whether on a graph or in a pie chart or something, so that people can see what's happening. We can bring more education. Edumacation is my word to people
Mhm.
here on the platform. So I want to thank you very much for your time.
All right.
Any final comments? Because the prime minister still, he still said that you just going on like that because he just got a new position. You just want to be loud because you want to say you're the deputy political leader. What you got to say to the man? How you gonna wrap it up? What you got to say
Tell
to the boss?
tell the Prime Minister on the 18th of January 2023, the people of St. Philip South voted me to office and they voted me to do the work. And despite whatever he says, I'm just going to do the people's work. Thank you very much.
That's the best answer ever. Thank you. You know, I didn't even ask you what's your drink of choice for tonight. What were you sipping
Oh,
on?
Coca Cola.
Oh, nice. And I was having a Pepsi. And over here, because it's Christmas, it's a gingerbread flavored Pepsi. So
Oh,
cheers.
very nice. Very nice.
Cheers.
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 Have a good evening. Thank you
Thank you
so
very much.
much.
Blessings.
Take care.
Bye
Blessings.
bye.
Bye bye. All right, people, what y'all think about that? Talking about the money, 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 money. Gassy. I want our money, 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 money. Prime Minister Gaston Brown, you've been saying that you're the world boss. You're the world boss from since 2014 to 2025. You're just fluffing the place. You just, using all your braggadocious. And look how ChatGPT just bust your bag wide open. ChatGPT just bust the thing right down the guts like, spill all the fluff, show all the little cotton wool that you have stuff up in the teddy bear. There's no real nothing in there, no substance in the guts, like nothing in there. I say that in that way to say these numbers show that this country is in trouble. Been in trouble, borrowing money. And I think, Mr. Knight been saying this for a while. Other individuals have said it. It's like we're borrowing to pay back. It's like you're digging a hole to fill a hole. That's what the Caribbean people say. My mother used to say that. She's from Guyana. You're digging a hole to fill a hole. That makes sense? You will always have a hole. Digging a hole to fill a hole. Yeah? But the braggadocious boy, the little boy, the little young man, the mother said like a young man. They're like a young man. He said that he is the world boss. He's the finance minister. And he said, if I need to explain to you again how you take that and you do that, and then that is kung fu economics. Yeah? The man used his own kung fu economics. And then he used a word. Let me find my pen drop. Let me use the exact word that he said. He said that Bowen is using outdated outdated mechanics, outdated wherever he says is outdated. No, it's not outdated. Accounting is accounting. Like the numbers the same from 1943 when you add, subtract, divide. That never changed. Like 1 + 1 and equal 2 from since back in the Romans, way before that, it has not changed. Prime Minister Gaston Brown. So the ball is in your court. Better you just resign. But you just resign. Let me get serious. Serious. You see, because I come on this platform, I've been sitting here for a while. We're saying what we're saying. We are not heading into a state or 2050, 2030, 2050, where we will continue to be led like sheep to a gallows. The sleeping giants are waking up. We are seeing all the foolishness and the fluff for what it is. Let me give you another serious foolishness and fluff. You see, there's back and forth between Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, Kamala Harris, and what's happening with Prime Minister Gaston Brown. Alia back off and make you bangy. Say it again, Nikki. I said back off and make you bangy. There's nobody else that's been able to put this man in his place. He cussed Pearl about your toes. He says some other person how the big and the how much ever 300 pounds. He always have something to say about a woman, bringing her down. He always only think he's the world boss. He braggadocious. He this and he that and that and that and that. Kamala say, because nobody focusing on the point that she is making. Whether she used the word bad mouthing America, Prime Minister Gaston Brown sat down with his braggadocious self. He brought up self. He said that would never happen. We are too skillful and we are too diplomatic. They came back now and they're saying it's biometric compatibility, and now you're quiet in Antigua and Barbuda, and now you're getting distracted about Trinidad and Tobago and CARICOM and Caribbean people and CARICOM foolishness. Don't get distracted. Hold Gaston to it. Hold his feet to the fire. If you need to turn you over and put some licks in his ass or step back and whoever bang him, make them bang. Whoever deal with his case, make them deal with the case. He want to put Trinidad and Tobago numbers out there. I can't even find the numbers for Antigua Barbuda. We just sit down here and had over 2 hours of discussion of fluff. Discussion of a divide and a put back in and a take out and a put back in. Kung fu economics from the world boss. Kung fu economics. Take out the interest, deduct the whole debt, put back in the thing, and then take out the thing, and boom, you see? I made a cake. Like boom. But he put in a Trinidad and Tobago's business out there. The numbers out there. How much of a billions that Trinidad and Tobago is making? Where the billions for Antigua and Barbuda? That's been missing. The overspending, unauthorized spending, 162 million in 2020, 137 million in 2021, 245 million in 2022, 163 million in 2023, 81.7 million in 2024. Unauthorized. We've had a budget 2020, 21, 22, 23, 24. We've had those budgets. The numbers I just told you there is outside of that. You tell me how we, Antigua and Barbuda, could have comfortably spent $247 million in 2022, and we still don't have a girls' home. We still don't have a proper space for the mental health, and we still don't even have clear view in a better state. Man, we have Mount St. John's looking like a dump. Real thing. People send voice videos and voice notes and videos to me. I'm here in the UK. Real thing. All these monies in the Ministry of Works, Maria Bronco Ministry, $107 million in 2020, man. Huh? $90 million in 2021. $150 million in 2022. $118 million in 2023. That is foolishness. And you sit down under Kung Fu Economics World Boss and allowing that. And again, my people, the budget, the country is basically running on taxes. It's either you pay the tax or the big man and them pay the tax. And as you can see it here, the big man and them not pay no tax. Sell the passport. The CBI was the major reason we were restricted, suspended, whatever the word is, because Ron Sanders and the Prime Minister are going to switch it up now. And they might give Dave, A, Ray, B, Z, a whole new job. He might just spew more wherever. The CBI without residency, selling the passports for years. And year after year after year, we say, where is the vision of Gaston Brown? Other than to sell the passport, where is the other income? Where else are we going to get another source from? Where else and how else are we going to pay our people? Now, this big sudden going on across the world. Tourism is our main industry. Suspension of visa left, right, and center. This Caribbean, this going on with Trinidad and Tobago, all this happening. What is going to happen to the economy of Antigua and Barbuda? Like, seriously, what's going to happen to the economy of Antigua and Barbuda? And then when we can't sell the passports to get the money, for you money. Because things go up more, way up. The gas go up more. The food go up more. The hospital bills go up more. But the wages will not be going up more. So what you do? What are we doing? We're going to stand and support Prime Minister Gaston Brown in his foolishness. He is responsible. Let him take responsibility. He is responsible for every foolish thing that comes out of his mouth. He just talk loose. He run his mouth loose. Have to eat up all back his words. So where's the credibility? Where's the integrity? Where's the accountability? In June 2025, this year is when he said that we stand with Cuba, our brothers and sisters, and the nurses and doctors are the bone. They are the backbone of our medical industry in Antigua and Barbuda. But he sent all them asses out of the country just the other day, like a couple days ago. Hello? So I'm to the backbone of the healthcare system. Warm to the backbone of the healthcare system. Cuba have the best doctors and lawyers. We own people around the Caribbean. Everybody go to Cuba for study. But you bring a couple nurses from Ghana, Nigeria, wherever. Black brothers and sisters, all the love. But with the qualifications, how can you verify what you know about them? What kind of service they're going to bring into our people? And the audacity not even to make an announcement. Not even to send a press release, not even to do a press statement. Man, the man is running the country like he own it. His own little island of 100,000 peasants. And he is the world boss. And then he says something and he just regurgitate and just have to eat it like them goat. No, this cow, no? It's not cow that eats their vomit. It's not like cow they eat and eat and eat. And then when they sit in the corner, they have to regurgitate and then chew their cud because they didn't really chew their food properly. Prime Minister looking like that right now. That's how he's looking. Because for the visa, that will never happen. And I am not convinced that it's fixed. You can say whatever you like. Nobody can determine who gets approval when you hit US doors. You see, like Dave Ray better, and of course, Dave, yes, you're talking to. Dave, you better have your American passport. Make sure you have an American passport. And you, Dave, although you're an ambassador, you will not be using your Antiguan passport if you have an American passport. Friend, because anybody using that passport now, you don't even know what experience you're going to get. You see that young one that run in his mouth, that have his children in New York, that every year you see he run 2, 3 times, how much ever, and go watch his children. I'm jumping on a plane, I'm going to be in New York. I'm going to be in New York. I'm going to be in Miami for Antigua this. I'm going to be in Miami. I'm going to be in New York. I'm going to be in New York. Watch next year. Watch next year. Because nobody can determine what the US decides when you reach to the border. It has been unpredictable then, and it's going to be even more unpredictable now. Thank the gassy dread. Yeah? That passport, Antigua Barbuda, thank gassy dread. If it's not the Mehul Choksi, if it's not the earpiece, if it's not the reports on the almost 900 Africans coming to the country, if it's not the Alpha Nero and Julia and the High Court, this, the United States, this in the United States, that, if it's not all of that, my friend, huh? But he wants to put out a statement to Kamala Harris yesterday to sound like a statesman. Kamala should just take press statement, print it out, and then just, you know where I'm going with that? That's what it's worth. That's what it is worth. Like she said, when Venezuela was making their attempts and conversation to invade Trinidad and Tobago, he was silent. And I will say as a Guyanese, all that's been going on with Guyana and Venezuela, Prime Minister Gaston Brown has been silent. He is enemies to none, friends of all. That's the most punky position to take ever. I am friends of all, enemies of none. It's a punky position to take. Because you will compromise yourself and you will flip-flop and you will just not have no direction. You just go anyway. Anybody can drag you, pull you, and that's what's happening, like a little puppet. Because before the visa restriction, Cuba is a very good friend and partnership and years of, was it partnership? Years of working together and relationships and bilateral blah, blah, blah. He said that with his big chest too, and in 2 nuts. Boldly said it. Belly aching. He was proud to do it. He sounded good. He went home and tell Maria, put on back that speech there for me. Let me hear myself. Put it on back. Let me hear myself. He's in the shower. He tell Maria, you saw how I dealt with Pringle in Parliament. Put it back on. Let me hear that so I can hear myself. Don't tell me. We're all one in the Caribbean. When the Prime Minister of Antigua and Barbuda is sitting on his Facebook page, calling himself the world boss, talking about Antigua, yeah? And talking about Antigua and saying how Antigua is the best on the planet. I played that clip for y'all. I played that clip for you. Antigua is the best. Best in the Caribbean, number 1 in the Caribbean, best in the world. The man just full of himself. The man full of himself, like he full himself, like he full up. He full up, you know what I mean? Because he feels full up. And Antigua under pressure, real pressure. Remember, he have diplomatic passport. Remember, his wife have diplomatic passport. Remember, every single minister have diplomatic passport. Remember, now Dave Ray have a diplomatic passport, and whoever else have the diplomatic passport. Aria have regular passport. This you hurt me. You know why this hurt me? Don't think because I'm here in London. Anywhere I go, Antigua Baby the passport, I have. Me never a Guyanese passport. Antigua Baby passport. And you remember for how many years all you cuss me and tell me, oh, you bang want to come here, mind Antigua business, leave Antigua business alone. No, me no choice. Me lock in. My two sons lock in. They're in the United States. We have questions. There are Antiguans in the United States who have visas. Yes, you're in the United States. What happens if you travel outside of the United States? Also, for those of Antiguans and Barbudans in the United States, what happens when your visa expires in the United States? Will it be renewed? What happens then? You know, we're not paying attention to the major ripple effects that this prime minister is responsible for. I said the man responsible. For his fault. And I'm not going to stop saying that. 2017, we started with Canada. And then y'all say the foolishness y'all saying now. Oh, we don't need to go to Canada. We can go to America. And we can go to the United Kingdom. And then in the United Kingdom, put little restrictions. Me never go to the United Kingdom. Me have for me visa. Me can go America. I can go America anytime I want. As of the 1st of January 2025, suspended. If you have a visa ready, stand a chance, but suspend it for anybody else that want to apply. Why you worry about? I don't really need to go to America. I can go through the Caribbean and I can start going other places and look for other places. You can travel now and you might not want to go to America, but there might be other people that want to go. There are individuals who've been planning their 2026 year either to start some kind of job in America, start some kind of studies in America. They have sent in their application. Some of them have scheduled appointments. What's going to happen? You see, when Ron Sanders come on the television and the Prime Minister come in to talk and give you updates, tell him bring real updates that's going to make sense in your life. Real updates that's going to push us forward. But no, he wants you all to help him to fight Camilla. That's another distraction because once you're focusing on Camilla, you can't focus on he. He bellyache and cry. Camilla said, Camilla said, I said, Camilla said, I said. He must go home to Maria, cry in Maria's lap, put all the tears in she lap. Camilla said, I said, Camilla. Hello? Like Camilla said, Ron and Gaston need to tell their citizens why their visa got restricted. And that's what we really want to know. Like we need to get to the bottom of that. Like we need to know more about that. And I've been waiting to see if all these other news agencies are even going to write to anybody, send an email, ask questions. Because since on Saturday or Friday, I have my emails from Free Press 268 sitting just waiting to hit send. Because I want to know. And I have a responsibility here. On this space and this platform, we need to be informed, educated, enlightened. We need the information. We're not even getting numbers and documents. You're going to say to me a whole scandal. The Prime Minister came on the television, came on his radio station, wearing dark glasses and a laptop. And he says, if you were me, would you sweep it under the carpet? And he says this and he says that, and how much ever vehicles. And it was not 30. He said he sent back 30, and then some more came to his attention. And then somebody started telling him, and somebody started telling him. But he can switch that around, stand up in Parliament, and said there was no real illegal action. Nothing illegal. No illegal act was committed. But Budu resigned. Antonio going to America, to China. Whoever else get rearranged and move around and move around and move around. Y'all want to go to 2026 with this foolishness? You deciding to go into 2026 with this foolishness? 26, 27, 28, 29, 20, 30? Man, let a man call the election. And y'all vote his ass out. Call the election and vote Gassi out. Because even with the visa restrictions, I saw him made a post. Would you prefer Gassi Dread, Pringle, or Lovell? I prefer no Dread. He's the prime minister. He's not a gangster. He's not some kind of cool. He is certainly not cool. Like he is not. He is not. Not even appealing to the eyes like to, no, you're not. You know, no, you're not. But you keep forgetting your role. You want to play young. You want to be into the melee. You want the drama. You want the likes. You want to be popular. You want to be an artist. You want to be a farmer. You want goat, sheep, land, peace, wherever, everything. And what for Antiguans? What for Antiguans? Yes, I was born in Guyana and spent many years in Antigua. All my work and my labor, I earned that. I don't have to worry about a residency. I've been living there. All the salt water and the sand all the way up everywhere. Everywhere. It's soaked into my bones. But this is vital. Those who were born there, like neighbor Stringberry there, because my two sons born in Antigua. What for Antiguans? 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 15 years from now, 20 years from now, what for Antiguans and Barbudans? What for the country? What for the people? Don't get distracted, man. Don't get distracted and don't fight his fight. He's not fighting for you. He doesn't fight for us. He doesn't listen to nobody. 900 people show up. We were duped 3 times. A stupid man that. Forget dupe 3 times. Once, shame on me. Oh, that's what I say. Once, shame on you. Twice, fool on me. Something, however the thing go. All 3 times, bear dance. To get duped 3 times. Antiguans and Barbudans, I trust that this program today, tonight, you go back to the numbers. If you need any information from me, you message me. You send an email. Let's break down the numbers. Because this is serious. Our Prime Minister has been cooking the books according to these numbers here. And if the Prime Minister is not cooking the books, he will come to the public and show facts. He'll show us the paper trail. Yeah? That's what we want to see. And especially with what went down with this Broncos scandal, we need that 100 yellow cards from the registration at Transport Board. So I'll link up that no link up. And let's get these numbers. Let's get this registration going. We need to know about this. And this vehicle gate scandal, 2020, 177 million, 19 million, 150 million, 118 million, 40 million. We will dig into it. We'll keep investigating. Christmas is coming. The geese can't get fat no more. The geese fat until it over fat. Yeah? The geese fat. And I'm fatting the geese no more. It's time for the kill. It's time for the turkey. go in the oven. Yeah? It's time for the knife and fork to dig into that. And if it's a yard fowl, it's gonna be extra hard. I don't know about y'all, but when you have the like a yard fowl run around and you try cook that, hard no one know. Oh, what a trick it is. So yes, real yard fowl. Anyway. Guys, I gotta go. Love you guys. Again, I trust that you can go back to our program, go through the program, go through the numbers, anything that you need. Let's break it down. I'm going to work on getting this on X on a like in a what do you call it, like a graph format. However we can do it. This is for the people. I work for the people. Send Nikki work for me. Okay, Nikki work for me. I work for the people. The Most High God has given me this vision since 2011 when He says take control of the airwaves. I didn't even understand what the man meant. The Most High God. I didn't even understand what God meant. But I'm here in 2025 and I never felt more right, more purposeful, more at the right place at the right time, even now as I'm talking to you. So I say thank you. Thank you to the Most High God for bringing me this far. Thank you to all of you for being here with me on the journey and as we journey forward. May everything that is downloaded in my spirit as I come and I bring it to you, may it uplift you, educate you, edumacate you, may it give you the strength, the knowledge, and the understanding. May it bring courage. May your spirit be encouraged because that's so important to be encouraged and then to have courage. May we have the courage to stand up to the foolishness that we see, whether in relationships, in marriage, in our family, in our home, in our business, in the government industry, anywhere that we go. It is important that who we are, we stand in that and stand and know beyond a shadow of a doubt that you know who you are. Once you keep your hands and your heart clean and pure, it is quite important that you would know if you're out of line. You would know if you're not doing what God has called you to do. And I know that I'm doing exactly what He's called me to do. I want to do it better. And I'm just saying, guys, Christmas is coming up. This geese don't want to get fat. I don't want to get fat. I just want a new phone. I'm serious. I want a new phone. I want a new iPhone. I have an iPhone 12 Pro. But this one, man, this is my phone that have all my WhatsApp and everything. It's cracked up phone, cracked up, all kind of thing happened. And the WhatsApp and the space and the... Anyway, so this geese, I don't want no ham and turkey. This guy did promise to send me a Bronco. What's his name? It's a guy on my page. What's the guy's name on my page? Oh my gosh, he's always commenting on my page. And he says he wants to know how to send me a Bronco from Antigua. I'll take it. I'll take it. One Bronco for you and one for you and a Bronco for you and a Bronco for you. Hello. We cruising now in our Bronco for 2026. Okay. Me and Maria. I want you to know that. Me and my bestie. Maria, me. You want to know? In pink Broncos. What color you want, Maria? Queen Mare. What color you want? I like pink and purple. Guys, I gotta go. Thank you for everything. Thank you for your love. Thank you for all the coffees, the stars. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for commenting. And Dave Ray, I see Dave Ray when I was talking earlier. When I said Dave Ray, I see Dave said, "Oh, Nikki, something is dangerous," because I said something about him, and he said, "Oh, you don't talk to the Prime Minister." Dave, yeah, right. I can say what I want. You know this. No love lost, but just watch yourself. Know your place. Don't try to be rude. And if you're talking about feedback and opposition and opposing ideas don't have to. It's not necessary for you to get personal or try to get dirty. And I can tell when you type in certain things and saying certain things. If you want to go that way, that's what I'm going to get over again. I didn't read the WhatsApp. I didn't say what the thing is saying. You know what I mean? Watch yourself, Dave. I'm just saying, behave yourself. Watch yourself. Dave, I don't waste time, Watch yourself. But love, love, love. And Dave was ready to cry. Hey, Dave, I bought you 5 coffees and something, and I always support you. Dave, you could have bought me 100 coffee, Dave. You could have bought me a whole Bronco like your best friend Maria. Dave, you could have bought me a house and car and land. I easily bought no, Dave. I said, thank you for your things, and then I stand on principle. Dave, integrity and honesty and facts are making no place. I'm just saying. I love. Somebody say read the WhatsApp. What the WhatsApp say? I don't see no WhatsApp. Oh, you want Dave WhatsApp? No. Is that what you meant? No. No. You see, you don't have to pour dirt. You know, you have the dirt and you let them know, hey, I ain't trying to fight you, no, but I could fight. I ain't trying to come at you, but I could. I'm just saying. But nah, it's not necessary. Love you guys. Have a really good evening. Our next live is on Wednesday. We're gonna do Wednesday morning. I only did tonight's live because I had an appointment during the day today. So live on Wednesday. That's our morning sip Wednesday. That's for us to wrap up the year. Maybe in a couple of days I might go into town and see all the lovely lights and send you some pictures and videos and stuff. But another live is the only live left for 2025 is going to be on Wednesday, and then we're going to lock it for the new year until the new year. They say, when have I ever gotten personal with you? You see, when you were saying that foolishness on my page, when you say how that lady Sharon something and my son something, I read all the foolish things that you say, Dave. And then early tonight when you start saying something about something, yeah, you kind of, yeah. So, yeah, that's when. Anyway, no love. All is fair in love and war, but I'm never warring with anybody, but I'm just saying I could. I could, Dave. Anyway, guys, love. I did enjoy my Pepsi. This is a gingerbread flavor. We're in the Christmas season. I put on this jumper tonight, and my son is like, "Oh, mommy, you look so lovely. Those are some reindeers. Yes, they are. Dashing through the snow with a one-horse open sleigh. Laughing all the way. All right. Love you guys. Stay blessed, stay prayed up, stay focused. Know who you are. Know yourself, know yourself, know yourself beyond anything else. Know yourself. I didn't give a word and I can't wrap up this program like how I did the last program and I didn't remember to give the word. So we're going to pray right now. Let's take a minute. Heavenly Father, indeed, God, there is none like you. There is none that can match you. You're King of Kings, you're Lord of Lords. You're the conquering lion of the tribe of Judah. And for every person under the sound of my voice right now, God, we give you praise and thanks and honor and glory for life, for breath, for energy, for the ability to think and to hear and to have all of our mental faculties intact, Father. Even for those who might have areas of aches and pains and whatever they might be struggling with, whether it might be depression, might be finances, there might be a lack, they might be coming around this Christmas season, God, and they're feeling lonely, they're feeling left out. Whatever that feeling might be, God, right now, let it be known to those individuals that the word says, I am close and yet closer. I am the word. I am the truth. I am light. Seek ye first the kingdom, and all shall be added. The word says, knock, and the door shall be open. Ask, and it shall be given. Seek, and ye shall find. So may you seek the goodness of God this Christmas. May you seek individuals. May you find a way to help them. May you knock on doors and help individuals. May the Most High God knock on your own door, your door of conviction, your window, of wisdom. May He continue to open your minds, your eyes, and everything, your heart, keeping you clean and pure to understand who you are, what you've been called to do. And may everything that you do not cause harm. Everything that you do, let it be according to the Jabez prayer that says, oh, that thou would bless me indeed and enlarge my territory, and that thy hand would be upon me, that I would not cause any evil or pain. We pray this prayer and we ask, oh God, that you continue to cover us with life and health and strength. Guide our doorsteps, God. Guide our footsteps. Guide our pathways. Guide our family, our children, everyone who's connected to us. Lord, just bring good news for us, Lord. And in a very special moment as I'm praying right now, I remember my daughter, my sister. I have so many sisters, but I remember my sister Nicole in a very special way. God, Nicole, I send your love around her to encamp around her in every single area, in every single place, God. I've been praying for her, God, and I want to thank you for all the smiles, all the joy, the happiness, the overflow, God, the great thing that you are doing, God, a great work you are doing, and you continue to do. It's already done. We give you the praise, the honor, the glory, and God, I bask in it because I want to participate in it, God. This is how great you are. Thank you, Lord, for everything. Thank you for every supporter, every donation, God, every single thing that individuals do, even their time and their effort, God. Let it bring goodness to them. Let investment that they've invested in me, time, money, energy, laughter, whatever it is, God, just bring it back tenfold to them. Just open doors and bless them. And those who think that there is no hope, God, bring a miracle, because I still believe in miracles. Somebody say it. I believe in miracles. So, God, thank you for your miracles. Thank you for your favor. Thank you for your grace. You are an amazing God, and there is none like you and none that can match you. God is good. Somebody say, God is good. God, He is. God is good. God is light. God is life. God is the center. He's the center of everything. And if you ain't got God, you ain't got nothing. I'm just saying, you ain't got Hey, you know what time it is? And I'm making all this noise. It's 2:41 in the morning. You ain't got nothing if you ain't got God aside you. God in the center. God in the center. I'm just saying. Love you guys. I'll see you on Wednesday. That's like tomorrow because it's already Tuesday morning for me. Be blessed. Be favored. Go through this information again. Go through the numbers. Any questions, any discrepancies. Let's follow up on it. And Dave, let the Prime Minister know that we would like him to rebut these facts with his fluff. And also let Maria know. Bronco Maria, come out and play. She still has some questions to answer, especially with these numbers coming out. I'm just saying. Have a good night, guys. Stay blessed.